is no terrible way to win. There is only winning.
Let me drive. I will make a fool out of you.
Every one of us has to find a reason to do this. You do it because you're driven.
I was beginning to think I'd never be anything more than a piston-happy, lead-foot punk. Then this starts to happen.
Somebody put it in your mind you gotta be perfect every time out or you're a failure. Well, forget that. Just forget it.
You ready to put away your toys and grow up? Are you ready to make more money in 1 year than your father made in his whole life? Are you ready to become a real race car driver?
When I won it was probably the last time I ever felt pure victory.
Because I'm quicker than all of you.
And if you no longer go for a gap that exists, you're no longer a racing driver.
Well, hell, isn't that what we're in this for? To stare death in the face and to cheat it? Come on, there's nobility in that. It's like being knights.
No pressure, nobody breathing down my back, just driving because I left it pure.
A lot of people go through life doing things badly. Racing is important to men who do it well. When you're racing, it's life. Anything that happens before or after, it's just waiting.
I just hope when you do, that I'm there to see it.
Racing. That's the name of the game, isn't it? Win or lose, put up or shut up.
Fine. Then let's race.
Hi, I'm Tom Ingram and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Jacques Villeneuve, you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Bruno Senna, you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Chris Hoy and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Landon Norris and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Dubai Kartdrome. It is the 2019 Dubai O-Plate. It's been a fantastic start to the action here on Friday morning. It's going to be a very exciting afternoon with plenty of great race action to come from all of the categories racing here over the course of the day. We have had so much action and so much drama already from our shifter and veterans, the Bambinos, the cadets and rookies, seniors and juniors in X30. And this is set to be a fantastic afternoon with the second and third heats in the IAMI categories, with the third and fourth time trials in the Bambinos. And tomorrow, of course, we'll see the seniors do battle in the Saudi World Series. Jake Sanson here trackside at Dubai Kartdrome in the shadow of the main straight of the Dubai Autodrome, where last week at about this time, the Dubai 24 Hours GT Sports Car race began. And we are looking forward to a spectacular race over the course of this weekend. It is about 1 p.m. local time here in Dubai. If you're just tuning in from Great Britain or wherever it is in Europe or around the world you're listening, you've missed a sensational morning of action. You can go back on the Downforce UK radio stream via the application Spreaker on your smartphones and listen to it. All you have to do if you have a smartphone or an Apple or an Android is download the free application called Spreaker, which is speaker with an R, so Spreaker, and then just search for the Dubai O-Plate, and you can like it and subscribe it, share it with all your friends, and you can share to them what it is that you've been up to over the course of the race meeting. However, we still have the business in hand tonight. There is going to be 2 heats for each of the categories to do battle, and we're going to start, as we mean to go on, with the gearbox categories. It's been an incredible start already for Alessandro Sturra, who has started his weekend in fine fettle with a victory in the opening race in front of the likes of Saeed Al-Ali and Amna Al-Kubaisi. But now the grid goes back to qualifying times from earlier, and it's Alessandro Sturra who will be on pole position from the Irishman Anthony Hogg. Saeed Al-Ali and the 2 Al-Kubaisi sisters, Hamda and Amna, are together in 4th and 5th from Abdurrahman Al-Shamsi, Brad Diaz, Walid Al-Qasemi, Dan Jones and Max Fleischmann. That's your grid for the X30 shifters here at the Dubai O-Plate. Not the biggest of grids, you might argue, but it is gearbox karting, so it's not boring. It's absolutely fantastic from the start. We had some great battles right from the off, where we saw a big leap forward from Saeed Al-Ali to get past Anthony Hogg in the early stages, and the overtaking prowess of Amna Al-Kubaisi making her way back into 3rd position. We wish her all the best, by the way, for her W Series induction next week in Austria, and we all hope she gets a place on the W Series grid. But for now, it's the business of racing and gearbox karting. From the start, Sturra and Hogg, Al-Ali and the Al-Kubaisi sisters from Al-Shamsi, Diaz, Al-Qasemi, Jones and Fleischmann. This is going to be an interesting start right from the get-go. We're going to go racing again, and it's a cracking start from Hogg, who's absolutely blasted away from the grid. Anthony Hogg leaps into the lead. Absolutely terrific start. Sturra's going to try and break the deadlock early, but he's not there. He's going to try and come right round the outside. Anthony Hogg beats him back. Anthony Hogg takes the lead. What a start from the Irishman. Absolutely sensational to break into the lead. Absolutely rocketed off the line. You can't get a better start than that in X30 shifter. That was absolutely sensational. Now he's just got to build on this and keep the pressure on all the way through. Oh, he's already lost the lead to Alessandro Stura. So Stura must have got him in the first couple of corners. Meanwhile, Sayed Al-Ali is third and Amner Al-Kubaisi is already up to fourth. So a much better start from Anthony Hogg, but he's slipped to second place. Now, technically speaking, if Amner Al-Kubaisi can deal with Sayed Al-Ali early, she could make the challenge for third position, maybe even P2, depending on how things are going to go over the course of the race. But there goes your race leader, Alessandro Stura, having taken the lead back from the fast-starting Anthony Hogg, then Sayed Al-Ali. Hamda Al-Kubaisi is in front of Amner Al-Kubaisi for the moment. But the two sisters love racing each other. They've said to each other pre-race, we don't care which one of you is going to win. Nobody's going to favour the other. Let's go for the victory and just have fun out there and race as hard as they can. In practice yesterday, they were separated by 0.002 of a second, would you believe? So the Al-Kubaisi sisters, very fast indeed. And as they come into the braking zone for the chicane, still going well for Stura. Sayed Al-Ali is now behind Anthony Hogg. The Kubaisi sisters are still there, P4 and P5. So Hamda Al-Kubaisi still in front of Amner Al-Kubaisi for the moment. Then in P6, that is Max Fleischmann, who has finally found his feet. Fleischmann trying to get on the tail of Amner Al-Kubaisi to make the move. Al-Kubaisi just following in behind her sister in the hope that the CRG carts can overhaul the man in front. So through comes Alessandro Stura, Anthony Hogg, Sayed Al-Ali, then Hamda and Amner Al-Kubaisi, then Max Fleischmann, Brad Diaz, Walid Al-Qasimi, and sadly it's a non-start for both Abdurrahman Al-Shamsi and Daniel Jones. Neither of them have been able to get their carts out for the second heat. So mechanical problems for them, I fear. But a sensational start to the day for these guys as they continue to press on. Under the bridge comes Alessandro Stura in a few seconds' time. He has the lead, 1.9 clear, as Hogg has got all sorts of pressure from Sayed Al-Ali. Sayed Al-Ali does not want to be beaten by Anthony Hogg, and he's going to step up the attack as soon as he possibly can. He made good work of him in race one. Anthony Hogg is working very hard to make sure that he keeps second place now. The Ulsterman still running very well in second place. Pushing his way through. Sayed Al-Ali still giving lots of pressure. Brad Diaz has found some more pace, actually. He's a lot closer to Max Fleischmann than he was in the earlier race. So he's right there in 7th position, tucked up behind Fleischmann. And Max Fleischmann is now giving pressure to Hamda Al-Kubaisi, with Amna having made her way into P4. So Amna has overtaken Sister Hamda, just as she did in race one. It's looking like a rerun of the same script of race one at the moment, but for the race leader, it is still the Italian Alessandro Stura who leads the way. Under the bridge and into the chicane he goes. Meanwhile, further back, Sayed Al-Ali has got Anthony Hogg really under pressure now, and Amner Al-Kubaisi has already caught up to them. That's how quick she is when she's in a straight line. So Amner Al-Kubaisi has definitely got the speed to win here today. She just needs to not have to worry about the traffic. And that's the difficulty in gearbox karting. You've just got to keep pushing on and hope that you don't have much traffic to deal with. But if she keeps pounding in the results, she'll obviously get a good starting position for the pre-final and final tomorrow. So she's just got to keep the faith, keep pushing, and she could still walk away as the winner of the ticket to the IAMI International Finals at Le Mans in October from the 7th to the 13th. So they keep pushing. Alessandro Stura leading as he did in race one and is still going well in heat two. Under the bridge and has a lead of about 2 seconds at the moment. The Italian's still working well. The battle for second position is going to be a nice move on the inside from Amner Al-Kubaisi. Sayed Al-Ali's got to second and Anthony Hogg spins around. Anthony Hogg has spun it. And I think that's because he got a little nudge from the cart behind. Amner Al-Kubaisi made the move, and I think there was just a little bit of eagerness from Hamda, who tried to make the same move, and unfortunately it's at the expense of Anthony Hogg. That is such a shame. He deserved so much better from that. But Anthony Hogg has definitely proven his mettle, and if he can come back in race 3 from the front row again, he will not want to take prisoners a second time. So now it is the same top 3 as we had in race 1. The difference now is that Amner Al-Kubaisi now has more time to deal with Sayed Ali. So Sayed Al Ali might have a bit of a difficulty shaking off Amna Al-Kubaisi this time. Here she comes again. Under the bridge, not close enough on this lap. If she keeps up the pressure, she may get an opportunity further round the lap. But Amna Al-Kubaisi is having an amazing run on the inside and gets him. Brilliant. That's an astonishing move from Amna Al-Kubaisi into second place. That is a hard move to pull off there as well. Into the right-hand hairpin before the back straight. And she is now P2. Now, she's got 6 laps to try and catch up with Alessandro Sturra. And she was faster than him yesterday. She's got clear track in front and a good chunk of time to make up. 5 seconds is the gap. So effectively, she needs to make up about a second a lap on Alessandro Sturra. That's going to be hard, but if anybody's going to do that, it's going to be Amna Al-Kubaisi. She's had an amazing 6 months in the world of motorsport, has obviously been working on the single-seaters on the main stage out in Europe, has been doing several campaigns in the Formula 4 car. And of course, she did her successful test out in Saudi Arabia in Formula E for the Virgin Racing team last month, and is part of the W Series Academy program. So hopefully she will get herself a seat in that single-seater championship. She'll find out the first steps of that at Austria later this week. They will fly out to the Red Bull Ring. But it's all about catching the man in front now, Alessandro Sturra. Sturra has got a big job in front of him now, and already the gap has come down to 5 seconds. Amna Al-Kubaisi is pushing hard. The gap is down to 5 seconds already. So Amna is pushing. She is going for the lead, but she's got a lot of work to catch up to Sturra. Under the bridge goes Alessandro, and he will be leading the way as he comes up to the chicane. Now we need to look back. Where is Amna Al-Kubaisi? There she is. And there's not a lot of gap to mine now. Alessandro Sturra is having to step up the attack though, and he knows it. He will have seen over his shoulder. Right, Amna's in second. I've got to step up the game. So it'll be like qualifying laps for Alessandro Sturra to try and get away from Amna Al-Kubaisi. Third is Sayed Al Ali. Fourth place is Amna Al-Kubaisi. Fifth is Max Fleischmann now. Sixth place is Brad Diaz. Seventh is Anthony Hogg, because Walid Al-Qasemi is out of the race. So a very good performance there from Alessandro Sturra, still leading, but now Amna Al-Kubaisi has taken another 0.4 of a second out of the lead. The lead down to 4.6. So we've had a message from reception. Apologies, because I know this is going on the radio broadcast as well. But we've had a message from reception. Will the owner of a BMW registration Tango 19129, you need to move your car. It is blocking access. So if you are the owner of BMW Tango 19129, you need to move it. Thank you very much. So Alessandro Sturra in the lead from Amna Al-Kubaisi, but the fastest female talent in the United Arab Emirates at the moment, Amna Al-Kubaisi, is pushing hard, and she is closing up on the leader, Alessandro Sturra. The gap down to 3.9 seconds now. She's taken another 0.7 of a second out of his lead on that one lap alone. So Amna Al-Kubaisi, arguably the fastest racer on the track in shifters, but because of those problems with the carb in qualifying, she's now having to play fight back for the rest of the weekend. But if she can get close enough to Sturra, she might be able to hassle him into a mistake. 2.5 laps to go. It's a big lead she's got to make up, but she is doing it. She is catching him. If she can have a lightning start in race 3 and get reasonably close, then there is every chance that Alessandro Sturra could be beaten by Amna Al-Kubaisi today. She's absolutely flying in second place. And the great thing is that she's also taking her teammates along for the ride. It's not a one-horse race in the charge for second place. Sayed Al Ali and Amna Al-Kubaisi are also working with Amna in second place to get the deficit down. The gap comes down again to 3.4, but there's only 2 laps to go. I'm not sure it'll be enough to take the lead, but the important thing is that Amna Al-Kubaisi will have shown out everybody what she can do and how fast she is going to be going over the course of the weekend. It's an important psychological achievement for Amna to keep pushing. Under the bridge once again comes Alessandro Sturra. Wait, there is Amna now. She's really closing in. And Sayed Al Ali is going with her, so they are pushing together in team unison formation. to close up, but it's not going to be enough to beat Alessandro Sturra on pure pace. They've got to hope that Sturra has a mechanical problem. Not that there's been any from Alessandro all day long. He has been the fighting force of the field. But Amner Al-Kubaisi is definitely the fastest driver at this phase of the race. Another 56.9 for Alessandro Sturra. The gap down to 3 seconds. But there's only 1 lap to go. If there were another 3 laps to go, I think Amner Al-Kubaisi would have had a chance of victory, no problem. But it just took a lap or so too long to get past Saeed Al-Ali. And that is what the difference has made. But crucially, a 3rd position in Heat 1 and a 2nd position in Heat 2 should give Amner Al-Kubaisi a great shot at the front row of the grid for the pre-final tomorrow. And that's what they're working for. But Alessandro Sturra has been absolutely commanding in this race once again. He's had to work harder for it than he did in race 1. But he has been able to hold enough of advantage over the rest of the field that the win will still be his. But now we know who the likeliest threat is going to be. Over the line, Alessandro Sturra makes it 2 from 2, a fantastic victory. But Amner Al-Kubaisi in 2nd place has taken the fight to Alessandro Sturra. Amner Al-Kubaisi is threatening to challenge Saeed Al-Ali in 3rd position once again. 2 CRGs on the podium once more. A really good performance. Amner Al-Kubaisi in 4th position this time to improve upon her 5th from earlier on. And a really exciting battle from Saeed Al-Ali and Amner Al-Kubaisi. 5th place for Brad Diaz. A 6th place finish in the end for Anthony Hogg after his little pirouette earlier on in the race. He deserved so much better from that race. A 6th position is not really worthy of Anthony Hogg's ability, and hopefully he'll be able to fight back in race 3. Sadly, retirements again from Max Fleischmann and Walid Al-Qasemi, and non-starts from Abdurrahman Al-Shamsi and Daniel Jones. Both of those guys having mechanical problems. But a really exciting race this is going to be in the shifter finale tomorrow, and it's looking likelier and likelier that the battle could be a 2-way fight between Alessandro Sturra and Amner Al-Kubaisi. And there's going to be so many people here who will want to see the Emirati flag on the top step of the podium on home soil in the Dubai O-Plate. And that would, of course, give Amner Al-Kubaisi a ticket to the IAMI International Finals at Le Mans in October. So hopefully that is what all of the fans will get at the end of the weekend in the shifters category. But we now move on from the shifters to the cadet and rookie contingent, and it has been such an impressive weekend so far from the cadets and rookie fraternity. We've had some great races earlier on, of course, with the young British star Harry Hannam fighting his way through to 2nd position from what was 19th on the grid. But Valerio Manicella started in fine style in his race earlier on, and he is now the form maker at the moment as they head into the 2nd heat of the day. And the Italian is going to want to have a really strong charge for the rest of the meeting, and obviously he will have some stiff competition in the cadets and rookie fraternity. So we're going to see a lot of action from them over the course of proceedings. Let's see if we can grab a quick word with somebody before the racing continues. Oh, let's have a quick word with Khaled Saab, actually. Khaled, it's really good to see you, obviously competing in the junior contingent under the Dan Holland Racing awning this weekend. How have things been going so far?
Yeah, they've been going quite good. Pace is up there. The racing's really close with a lot of action. This track has a lot of overtaking opportunities, and should be a good race all around this weekend.
Compared to some of the race circuits that you've been to over the last 12 months, this is a very physical one. It must take a lot out of you on the body.
Yeah, but you just got to keep your head up and focus on the race. You know, when you're so focused, you don't really think about, you know, your physical aspects and just focusing on chasing the person ahead or keeping the lead if you're in the lead.
It's a tough field here as well because you've got at least 7 or 8 of you up at the front that can win, and you're definitely part of that contingent. I mean, where can you find that little bit of an advantage over your opposition? Is it easy to find time here?
Well, there's always a little bit of time that you can find on every corner. Obviously, us being so close, it's just different laps. We're swapping with fastest laps and swapping with better times each lap. So it's hard to say where you can find any time, but it's mainly just, you know, keeping your head up and not panicking under pressure.
You're definitely doing a good job so far. Hopefully the Emirati flag will be flying high with you on the end of tomorrow's race. Good luck.
Thank you.
Really exciting stuff. Great to see the world-class level of talent here this weekend. We've seen so many great drivers come into the fray over the course of the last few days of testing, and now that we're in the business end of the weekend now, with the action really starting to be quite palpable around the circuit, it is going very strong indeed. We've had some great racing and some good action, and we're going to see some really exciting battles over the course of proceedings. Actually, Jamie Day. Jamie, this is what happens when you win races, Jamie. When you win races, the media wants to talk to you. Stop it. It's really good performance, though, in race 1. You really showed some good flair, and you used the experience you have of this circuit to good measure.
Yeah, just overtook Kamal and then just got a big gap. So, yeah.
The battle is always really difficult in this kind of field when there's so many top drivers out there who are at the same sort of level as you, but you managed to find a bit of a gap when things were getting a bit messy. Is that crucial here when things are starting to go wrong, to just try and find a bit of an opportunity?
Yeah, it helps a lot just to get a gap, and it just takes the pressure off of you.
Well, the team have been working really hard with you the last few days, so I guess everybody's in a really good frame of mind at the moment.
Yeah, obviously first and second in junior and first in senior, so going very well so far.
So there could be multiple trophies going back to the Energy Squad after tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely.
Good man. Keep up the good work.
Thanks.
So Jamie Day going well, having won his first heat of the weekend, and the team are in very high spirits at the moment, it has to be said. They've got lots of great contenders in the Energy Dubai squad this weekend. They've got so many talented drivers in that particular outfit, and obviously a lot of them will want to progress and move forward as the weekend goes on in the junior brigade, in the senior brigade, and there's some big prizes on offers in both X30 junior and senior. Obviously there's a fully funded paid drive in X30 Junior at the IAMI International Final in October for the junior winner. For the senior winner, they get a test run in the XL Motorsport Formula 4 car just round the back of this circuit, actually, over at the Dubai Autodrome, which we're in the shadow of at the moment. We can just see the grandstand on the main straight over the top of the last corner. So there's a lot to play for these guys in the X30 Junior and Senior contingent. It is going to be a very tough battle for all of the contenders over the course of the weekend. However, the cadets and the rookies are rolling out on circuit as their weekend continues. Valerio Rinicella on pole position from Federico Al Rifai and Filippo Parmigiani ahead of Max Dexter. Then Ludovica Sambudla, Leo Nilsson and Sofia Neccia, the Italian female, is there just on the outskirts of the top 5 as well, pushing on after a good qualifying session to be in P7. Zayed Haddad, Sakir Al-Qasemi and Ben Wade in the top 10 from Zach Stimson and Hamza Al-Fayez, Oliver Naylor and Oscar Lambert, Matteo Quintarelli and Luca Houghton, who have been both doing a very good job over the course of proceedings. Matteo Quintarelli was very eager to find out how you could listen from home. Spreaker is the application, Downforce UK is the link. Anesso Mafamulo and Enzo Ruggiero make it an all-South African row 9 with Harry Hanam, Adam Alajari and Sultan Kudali. All 3 of them were disallowed from qualifying for a weight infringement, and then Enzo Pedraza will start from P22 on the grid. Can we have numbers 578 and 603 to the stewards, please? 578 and 603 to the stewards as the cadets and rookie race begins. And up to the front already, there's going to be some stark moves as up at the front, Valerio Rinicella is going to get a bit of a strong challenge around the outside. There's already some battling and swapping and jostling for position. That's Rinicella and Al Rifai having a good battle early doors. And I think I saw Federico Al Rifai just sneaking up the inside on the exit of turn 3. He might have finished off the move into the hairpins. Yellow flags down at 5. Yellow flags at 5. So there's 1 or 2 drivers already in the barriers there. We'll have to keep an eye. But who's leading? Federico Al Rifai going for the lead and taking it. Brilliant move from Al Rifai. That's a great comeback after Heat 1. And charges through to take the lead on the opening lap. As up the inside, good move too. I think that is Dexter making the move for 3rd position. So I think that's Dexter coming through into P3. We'll double check as they come across the line. But Al Rifai definitely now leading the race for the Dojomoto team. And that's a perfect start to their race with Valerio Rinicella, definitely Vincitore going the way of Al Rifai so far as they come through at the end of the lap. And it is Federico Al Rifai who leads here at the end of the first lap from Rinicella in 2nd position. Rinicella now trying to come back through. Not going to happen just yet. Dexter is 3rd. Parmigiani, Sambudla, Al-Qasemi right up in 6th place from Leo Nilsson and Ben Wade. Then Oliver Naylor Looks like several drivers were caught up in that first lap incident. It looks to me as though Anesu Mafamulo, the South African, was the one who got the most impeded. He is right down the order. So too Sofia Necci and Hamza Al-Fayez. So both of those two drivers in the wars. Necci, Al-Fayez, Zayed Haddad in trouble as well. A spin there in the mid-pack. That looks to me a spin and a stop. Is that... I think that's Renicella. Right at the sharp end of the field. I think that might be Renicella, but we'll double check. But it looks as though one of the front runners definitely has stopped out on the circuit. Yellow flags as well, because we got two carts stopped out on circuit up at turn 9. So problems already on this first couple of laps. Some very difficult races for some. Renicella now leads. Al Rifai down to second from Parmigiani and Sambudla. Dexter, Al-Qasemi, Wade, Naylor, Al-Ajari, Nilsson, Stimson and Kadali, with Horton there in position as well. So it's going to be a very interesting run, but several drivers impeded. Unfortunately, there's a few drivers in position, but Renicella leads the way from Al Rifai as they come through. We've got two stationary drivers up at the far side. Oh dear, all gone very badly wrong indeed for at least two of our contingent. I think Zayed Haddad and Anesu Mafamulo are not going any further. They are out of the race by the look of things. And then it looks to me as though Hamza Al-Fayez has dropped a long way back down the order. So two of them well out of contention. Unfortunately, their races are over. But here come the leaders out of the final couple of corners of the lap. And it's still Renicella who leads the way in front of Federico Al Rifai. And they've got a bit of a gap on Parmigiani and Sam Budler, Dexter and Al-Qasemi, Wade, Naylor and Al-Ajari, Nilsson, Kadali, Stimson, Horton, Quintarelli, Lambert. The field continues on their way as they continue to battle. But a really difficult race for Haddad and Mafamulo. Both of those drivers out of the race. As we mentioned, a couple of drivers going slowly. Hang on a minute. Somebody going very slowly out of turn 4 or 5. I have a feeling that might be Sofia Necci in trouble. And that could be a real shame. Well, the leaders coming through once again. Renicella still being caught by Federico Al Rifai. And we've got a great battle shaping up for 4th place as 4 of them go loggerheads. Sam Budler, Dexter Al-Qasemi and Wade. Then Naylor is 8th. Adam Al-Ajari is up to 9th. And Leo Nilsson is 10th from Kadali, who's up to 11th. What's happened to Harry Hanam? I've not seen him anywhere actually for a while. He might be about sort of 13th, 14th-ish. We'll double check as he comes through. But several drivers have had a very difficult start to the race. Harry Hanam finds himself in 16th at the moment, trying to sharpen his way through the field, and it's not easy at the moment. But when the going gets tough, the tough get hectic in cadets and rookies. They've got to just keep charging forward. So far, so good for Renicella, but Federico Al Rifai has not given up on him yet. He is still pushing very hard and still making the deadlock work for him in his favour. They're going to come through once again. They will continue to come through here under the bridge. They will fight for position. Is Federico Al Rifai close enough yet as they have dropped down the hill? Not yet, but he's going to keep the motivation, keep pushing forward. Parmigiani is on his own in 3rd position, and then we've got these 4. Sam Budler, Dexter Al-Qasemi and Wade. Leo Nilsson trying to hang on in front of Sultan Kadali. And Adam Al-Ajari, I think that is, having moved his way up into 11th position. So still good battles. Bit of a clumsier second race than the first encounter, and several drivers have ended up coming off worse off for it. But at the moment, it is still Federico Al Rifai who leads the way from Renicella. But what a lap that is from Federico Al Rifai. Federico Al Rifai has just done a 62.9, the new fastest lap of the race. So he is catching up with the leader, Renicella, fairly quickly now. And it's not going to be long before he's hassling him for position. I think we're going to have a really strong battle from here on in. Here comes the 2 leaders. They'll come under the bridge and dive for the inside line into the braking zone. Renicella is going to try and defend the advantage from Al Rifai, but Al Rifai is definitely closing in. He's chipping away at that lead fairly quickly now. Parmigiani is losing ground as well to the likes of Dexter, Sam Budler, Al-Qasemi and Wade. And up to the front of that queue, that's Sultan Kadali. Sultan Kadali is charging through the field. He's up into about P8 now. Some great overtakes from Sultan Kadali, I think that is. Oh, and there's a penalty going out. A 10-second tramline infringement to the 150. That's Max Dexter. Max Dexter is going to get a penalty. That is such a shame. And still they keep pushing on. But Max Dexter's having a really irritating end to his race given to him now. The 10-second penalty board will go out for him. And that's such a shame. He was out of the tram lines at the start. Meanwhile, the battle continues as Sultan Kadali has fought his way forward. So too, actually, has Luca Horton. So both of those guys fighting forward. P8 at the moment for Sultan Kadali, who is absolutely romping away in the Birolart chassis as he flies through. Now, Federico Al Rifai is closing up rapidly now on the race lead with 3.5 to go. Where is Sultan Kadali in P8? There he is. He's got some pressure underneath him at the moment. That looks like Luca Horton right in with him, but that's been a very tough race for Sultan Kadali to charge through and has come through now into P8. So the front two are very close together. Federico Al Rifai looks as though he's going to step up the tack now. Up down the straight, they are really starting to push. Federico Al Rifai has been setting fastest lap after fastest lap, and now he's going to have a look at it. Right in behind Rinicella, up towards turn 3. He almost went for the move there in the left-hander. Now he's going to try this. They come over the bridge, and another small move there as they battle away for position. Sultan Kadali dueling away for that 8th position and takes it back again round the outside. That's great defensive work from Sultan Kadali. I thought the move was gone, but round the outside of turn 3, he holds on everything and just brings the cart back. Now Federico Al Rifai is going to try and make his move on the race leader. Parmigiani's in all sorts of trouble from the South African. Lutherve Sambudla has caught him up big style. So Sambudla looks like he might make the challenge for 3rd position. Sambudla really now making a charge for 3rd position on the back of Parmigiani. Parmigiani still looking to be the top rookie. If he can hold on to this, he hasn't yet been able to do so because of that spin he had in the earlier one. But Lutherve Sambudla, the South African, was the top rookie last time. And it's looking good, but Federico Al Rifai is going to try and make the move on the inside line. Has he got there on the inside? No, he's had to back out of it. Dear me, that was brave, but very sensible of Federico to back out of the move because that very nearly ended in tears. But now, Rinicella knows what he's made of. He's going to try any trick in the book. They come through the S's, down to the far side of the circuit, and still pushing on, but it's very tight at the top between the two Italians. Valerio Rinicella has got Federico Al Rifai all over the back of him as they go through the left, through the right, and then up towards the hairpin. It's a 3-way scrap now for 3rd, as Parmigiani and Sambudla have been caught up by Dexter, but Dexter's got a 10-second penalty coming his way, rather sadly, for a tramline infringement. He makes the move regardless, so I think that is Dexter now through into 4th position. Despite the tramline infringement, he is going to be 4th on the road, and that's going to give him plenty of confidence. So here come the leaders through, and it's into the last lap we go. Federico Al Rifai is going to try again. Now he really is going to go for it. He's got to make the move stick, and he's there. What a move! Absolutely terrific from Al Rifai into turn 2. Stood on the inside line, flat to the gas, and made it stick. That is one heck of an overtake. I'm not sure you could ask him to do that twice. Brilliant, absolutely sensational. And Sultan Kadali is having a scrap of his own, trying to hold off at least 6 other carts in the train. And as they come round under the bridge, it's a big battle, and he's used the traffic to perfection, Federico Al Rifai. Valerio goes one way, Federico goes the other, and that's pulled out 2 cart lengths. That's enough to make him the winner if he hangs on to it. Federico Al Rifai has made light work of this move, and now there's not a lot Valerio can do about it. He's still pushing, he's still trying, he runs deep, he's got to hang on to it, he's got to keep the door shut into the final corner. It's going to be hard to hang on to it as they go off the final turn. They're going to be side by side to the flag, across the line, and it's just Valerio Rinicella by 0.045. Unbelievable. What a race. It's not even the final. It's not even the final, and it finishes as a photo finish, just in favour of Valerio Rinicella. What an effort from both of them. Oh my word. Sensational finish. So close. Valerio Rinicella just pips Federico Al Rifai. Parmigiani is 3rd, and that makes it an all-Italian podium in Heat 2. What a race. Can we have one just like that for the grand final, please? That was absolutely stunning. Stunning finish, stunning race. Sam Butler fourth from Dexter and Al-Qasemi. Wade is in 7th place. Luca Horton fights and gets 8th place on the last lap. Sultan Kadali worked very hard but couldn't quite hang on to the lead of the train. Absolutely amazing. Sultan Kadali was 9th in the end in front of Adam Al-Ajari from Hanam, Nilsson, Stimson, Lambert, Quintarelli, Necci, Naylor, Pedraza, Al-Fayez, Ruggiero, and then of course we had the 2 retirements on lap 1 of Zaid Haddad and Anisu Mufamulo. But what a race. Absolutely incredible. I genuinely thought Federico Al-Rifai had that, but Valerio Redicella was never going to give up, never going to say die, and he won that by a matter of inches. 0.045 at the flag. That is less time than it takes to wink. Absolutely incredible. Great finish and a great end to the race. So good between the two of them. And it came right down to the line. Although, looks to me as though Valerio Redicella has been registered as completing 11 laps. He didn't, he did 10. But Valerio Redicella just pipping in for the victory. That was so close and such a magic finish to the race. You couldn't have scripted that one if you tried. Just brilliant racing. Well, it's going to be very tough for the other categories to live up to that kind of hype and intensity and excitement. The Bambinos will give us a good show as well, of course, because those youngsters are going to be out next for their 3rd time trial of 4, and they only get the 4 time trials over the course of the day before they are crowning champions in the Bambino O-Plate. But such an amazing race between the 2 cadets right to the finish line. I think we all needed a bit of a breathtaking finish like that, and we certainly got one right to the line. That was sensational racing. I want more of that, please. There was some bravery there from the 2 boys out of the final corner. And now, of course, it will go to the Bambinos. They will put on a bit of a show next, and they've got some big shoes to fill after the cadets. But it is getting tighter at the top of that brigade because we had 2.5 seconds or so, roughly, between 1st and 2nd in yesterday's practice. Leonard Titica, whatever he had for breakfast this morning, I want some, because he's found 1.5 seconds more pace over the course of the day. He was only 1 second down on Shonal Kunamal in the 1st time trial. Now he was only 0.8 down in the 2nd time trial. If he keeps finding this time, it's going to be a straight out race between the 2 of them in the 4th and final time trial. And to be fair, Shonal Kunamal might have to get back into the 1:13s to stand a chance of beating Leonard Titica in his current form. So the important thing is for Shonal not to let the ever-increasing pace of Leonard Titica get to his head, because if it does, and he starts to show some weakness, then that's where he may start to lose the speed. But he's just got to keep that self-belief going. He's just got to keep doing what he does well. But the battle is going to be tight, and there's a lot of talent coming through. One man to watch in particular in this one is the young Frenchman, Ilion Maillard, who has had a really strong couple of time trials. Don't forget, the first time he ever saw this circuit was 24 hours ago. So he's been absolutely sensational in terms of the rate of development is quite impressive. So he's obviously going to want to... He's obviously been taking notes from his older brother, Yanis, who's been in the juniors contingent, and he's going to be going out a bit later. Both of the older brothers, and Ilias is there as well, of course, who sadly cannot race because of an injured wrist, which is a real shame, because I have a feeling he would have been towards the top spot as well. But I'm sure you're going to be hearing an awful lot about the Maillard trio. I think all 3 of them are going to be very strong stars in the 2019 season. And obviously, there's an English expression, which is that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. And I think Guillaume Maillard's addiction to motorsport has definitely rubbed off on all 3 of his sons. So if you thought you had it bad before, Guillaume, you've got it in stereo now, my friend. So we've got the Bambinos about to head out onto the circuit. But yes, keep an eye on Ilion Maillard. He's 4th position in the 2nd time trial and dangerously close to Nicolas Stura, who, of course, is hoping to follow in the footsteps of Alessandro, who's taken 2 gearbox wins today already. So he'll want to make a hat-trick of it later. The Bambinos will be heading out onto the circuit in the next couple of minutes, because it's a 10-minute time trial, as we know. But there are a few names to keep an eye on here. I have to say I'm actually very impressed from a couple of the midfielders. Considering the setbacks of earlier on today, Leonardis Peruzzi has done a very good job in getting himself back up to speed. The Greek star has been putting in some very good lap times. Also very impressed actually with young Max Murray, the Scottish driver, who of course is the younger brother of Sebastian, who suffered that injury on Wednesday and should have been in that cadet race we've just had, but he's currently in hospital, no doubt listening to the action, and we wish you all the very best and good get well soon, Seb. But for Max Murray, he's not his first time here at the circuit. He has driven it before, but certainly in such an international competition as this, and he's already top 5, so Max Murray very much doing a good job. Another man who's been particularly impressive through the first couple of time trials has been Anthony Joe Khalil. I've seen his lap times get better and better as the weekend has gone on. And we're now, of course, into the business end of the meeting, and he's still putting in some very good times. Also, of course, Arafat Sheikh, who was the fastest of all in the last session of yesterday, and Arafat has really been going very fast indeed today, very much challenging the top 3 for a spot on the podium. So if he just keeps up that sort of momentum, keeps up those times, then it's going to be a very nice end to his weekend. So a really good battle is in the offing again for the Miami Bambinos, and they will of course come through having had the benefit of a bit of a breather. They should have a really strong day at the office to continue with, but the Bambinos will head out onto the circuit. There's obviously a couple of clean-up jobs to sort out from that previous cadets and rookies race, but the leading rookie home in that one, having had a bit of a tough one earlier on, of course, Filippo Parmigiani, 3rd overall, and the leading rookie home as well. But the cadets winner, rather dramatically, Valerio Redicella, continuing his good run from Heat 1 and just managing to repass Federico Al-Rifai after an amazing run to the line for the pair of them. But that was inches that decided that race, absolutely inches. So we now move into the Bambinos Brigade, as we mentioned. The sun is really out in force now over the Dubai Kartdrome. Air temperature at the last check was about 26 degrees Celsius. So it's in the height of the winter at the moment as the Bambino karts head out onto the circuit, and they are starting to put in those flying laps. 10 minutes out on the circuit. In Bambinos, of course, at international level at this grade of competition, they are not permitted to race. If it was a non-licensed event, then they might have done. I know that in Britain, obviously, they have competitions for Bambino racers that are not registered by the Motorsport UK. But in Bambinos at this level, they are not allowed to race. They are too young, the ages of 6 to 8, but they can do time trials. So they will obviously battle away for fastest laps. And in the first 2 sessions, it has been all about the Indian star, Shonal Kunimal, who has got the first 2 time trials all his own way. But the big story is that it's not by much. He had a big advantage before, coming into the weekend, of about 2.5 seconds over the field. That gap has decreased dramatically. It was a second in the first time trial. It was 0.8 of a second in the second time trial. It all depends on how much confidence Leonard Titica has got. If he's managed to find some more time, then Shonal Kunimal is going to have to break back into the 113s, because he's been steadily in the 114s over the day. 114.1s and 114.2s. He has got that much speed in him, Shonal Kunimal. Yesterday he did a 113.9, so he can find that sort of speed. But the question of the day is going to be, when is he going to be able to find it, and will he find it before Leonard Titica does? So far so good though, as the Bambinos are out on circuit, getting the fast laps in. The likes of Arafat Sheikh, Leonardis Peruzzi, Maxim Bobrashov, Karim Azi, the number 1. Max Murray is out there, of course, as well. Cohen Naylor, Nicolas Stura, Mohamed Al-Qasemi is out on track as well. Leonard Titica has just gone out. And then we have Anthony Joe Khalil. And then it'll be Shonal Kunimal and Ilion Maillard, the Frenchman. And now it's all about pace. It's all about lap style as the drivers are getting themselves into position and lining themselves up for a good run. They're set off in staggered intervals, and it's time to see what these youngsters can do. So the gambit is opened by Arafat Sheikh, who does a 119.0. That's not a bad opening gambit, but he will be able to go a lot faster than that. Leonardis Peruzzi comes in on a 120.3. Attention paddock, can we have treble 1 and 153 to the steward's office, please? That is 153 and 111. Can you please make your way to the steward's office immediately, please? That's treble 1 and 153. Thank you. Back into the action for the Bambinos. Nicholas Stura, Arafat Shaikh, Max Murray, Leonardis Peruzzi, Maxim Bobrishov. Oh, up to the top comes Leonard Titica. A 115.5. Not a bad opening gambit. But again, he can go faster than that, has already done so far. His best time has been a 115.1, so a 115.5 is a good start, but he might be able to break into the 114s by the end of the session. If he can get there, then it bodes well for the rest of the 2 time trials, but he's obviously got to find quite a bit of time before he can get to that point. Apologies for the wind, it has picked up a little bit here on the top of the balcony overlooking the circuit, and it's quite a blustery day now, as Winnie the Pooh might have said once upon a time. And that has its own problems, of course, with the drivers trying to build up a bit of a rhythm. A sudden gust of wind can really change the angle and trajectory of the kart if you've got it balanced in a certain way. So you have to keep these things in mind. It is a tall order for the drivers out there. They've got to be very focused on it. Shonal Kunamal's first lap is a banker, a 120.4. He can go at least 6 seconds faster than that. So I'm sure that once he's got a clear bit of track, he will do. Leonard Titica leads the way at the moment by 2 seconds to Nicholas Stura. Arafat Shaikh is in third from Maxim Bobrishov, then Leonardis Peruzzi, Max Murray, Anthony Joe Khalil, Shonal Kudimal, Karim Azi, Mohamed Al-Qasemi, Ilyon Mayard and Cohen Naylor. So the race, the battle continues as the drivers are getting themselves up to speed. They need to find a little bit more pace in the karts at the moment, as Shonal Kudimal comes straight up to second on a 117.0. A 117.6, I should say. So Shonal Kudimal now starting to get the deficit, but again, we know that he can go at least 3 seconds faster than that, because he did a 1 minute 14.1 earlier in the day. So it's Titica from Kudimal, Stura, Shaikh, Bobrishov, Peruzzi, Murray and Anthony Joe Khalil from Azi, Al-Qasemi, Ilyon Mayard and Cohen Naylor. That's your top 12. So as they come through once again, we're just waiting to see an opportune moment. Leonard Titica on a 115.5. That's not as fast as he's been this morning. Shonal Kudimal has got at least 3 seconds more in the tank than he's got there, so I wonder if he's just building up to it. Nicholas Stura in third. Arafat Shaikh going well in fourth place from Bobrishov. Maxim Bobrashov's going very well in this session. Has found himself some good speed. So Maxim Bobrishov obviously wanting to get a good lap in the board. As a new fastest lap from Titica. Wow, 114.3. Now that is at the same sort of pace that we saw from Shonal Kudimal earlier today. So Leonard Titica has found about 0.6 of a second on the times he was setting this morning. That is brilliant progress from Leonard Titica. And there goes Shonal Kudimal on a 114.4. So there's 1/10 of a second between them now. This is game on in the Bambinos. I was hoping it would be, but this is now definitely game on. Leonard Titica versus Shonal Kudimal for time trial 3 of the Bambinos Brigade here at the 2019 Dubai O-Plate. Stura is third. Up to fourth now comes Max Murray on a 117.7. Then it is, Arafat Shaikh has gone past both of them now. He's just done a 117 treble 2. Then it is Stura and Murray, Karim Azi, Maxim Bobrishov, Leonardis Peruzzi, who has now just displaced Bobrishov, in fact, Anthony Joe Khalil, Mohamed Al-Qasemi, Ilyon Mayard and Cohen Naylor. And now Ilyon Mayard is getting back on with it, a 124.0. There might be something to do with the chassis, potentially, I'm being told by Guillaume Maillard. Now, Leonard Titica's just done a 115.0. What's Shonal Kudimal doing? A 114.469 is about where he is at the moment. Let's see where the pace is going to come from. It's all still to play for. So let's see what the times can give us. 114.0 from Shonal Kudimal. There we go. Shonal Kudimal finds the pace he saw this morning. A 114.0, but that's still only, just under a quarter of a second faster than Leonard Titica. He's really got to pull out the stops. Titica is really going for it now. This is going to be a straight fight between the two of them, which is great news for us because we get a bit of a show between these two. 2 minutes and 20 left on the board. Shonal Kunimal might need to break into the 113s here. Titica's pace is rapid and his rate of development is absolutely astonishing. He needs to keep this up. Arafat Shaikh is third from Nicolas Stura and Max Murray from Karim Aziz. And then it is Leonardis Peruzzi, Maxim Bobdashov, Anthony Joe Khalil, then Mohamed Al-Qasemi, Ilion Mayard and Cohen Naylor, as Anthony Joe Khalil has elected to come into the pits. He may not have enough speed in the car to make an improvement, so he will continue his charge forward. Shonal Kunimal leads the way by 0.224 now to Leonard Titica. Nowhere near as much as this morning. Leonard Titica is definitely the man making progress. Stura is third from Sheikh, Aziz, Murray, Peruzzi, Bobdashov, Khalil. Mayard up to 10th now for Mohamed Al-Qasemi and Cohen Naylor. So Ilion Mayard has managed to make it to a 1:23.2. That's a big gain actually. He's found another second, but it's not quite the pace he had this morning. Attention paddock, can we have 2:04 and 1:53 to the steward's office, please? That is 2:04 and 1:53. Can we have you to the steward's office, please? Thank you. So back into the action again, and Shonal Kunimal has gone faster again, a 1:14.008 this time, a whisker away from the 1:13s. So Kunimal is doing a fantastic job. Titica in second place. Third is Stura from Sheikh, Aziz, Murray, Peruzzi, Bobdashov, Khalil, Mayard, Al-Qasemi and Naylor. So a good start to proceeding at the moment as he keeps going, keeps pushing on as they come through this time by. Another big gain from Ilion Mayard actually. He's found another 2 seconds now, a 1:21.9. So that's a big chunk of time to gain. Cohen Naylor's got a personal best in there as well, a 1:26.9. And there we go. Wow, Shonal Kunimal's just done a 1:13.1. That's incredible. 9/10 of a second quicker than he has gone before. And that pretty much puts it to bed, doesn't it? Leonard Titica on a 1:14.3. Shonal Kunimal finds a 1:13.1. I think that's the fastest he's been all week. That's incredible. Even yesterday he was in the 1:13.8s, which was pretty fast. But that's the thing with these Bambinos. The second they get the confidence and they know where to find the time, they just find it. They all do it at their own rate of speed, their own rate of development. But that's a big, big amount of time to find for Shonal Kunimal. Checkered flag is out. That was a good time trial there. A really good effort from Shonal Kunimal. Not bad at all from Leonard Titica. His best now is a 1:14.3. He can learn a lot from that. He comes through and that's his best time. So Shonal Kunimal is not going to be beaten in this time trial. They come through at the end of the session and there's still some time to find for a few of the drivers out there as they come through. And another improvement from Ilion Mayard right at the end there, a 1:21.2. Not the same speed he showed this morning, but that is a good effort in terms of good determination and a complete unwillingness to throw in the towel, which is really good. But there you go. Your time trial for the third time today is over, and it's Shonal Kunimal who stays at the top with a 1:13.1. Brilliant lap. Leonard Titica in second from Nicolas Stura and Arafat Shaikh. Karim Aziz is up to fifth from Max Murray. Then Leonardis Peruzzi, Maxim Bobdashov, Anthony Joe Khalil, Ilion Mayard, Mohamed Al-Qasemi and Cohen Naylor. Good run from the Bambinos. Really good effort, and always good to see these guys making progress and developing as quickly as they are. Oh, and there's a warning actually. Oh no, a penalty. A 10-second penalty for the number 10. That's Mohamed Al-Qasemi. So Mohamed Al-Qasemi has been given a penalty for dangerous driving, apparently. Well, that's very interesting. I'm not sure I saw anything myself that Mohamed Al-Qasemi did. I'm not entirely sure what that incident is for. I didn't see it myself, but apparently he's been given an official penalty from the stewards for dangerous driving. So obviously they'll need to figure out what the incident was and learn from it. But that's what this is all about, learning by doing. But a real shame for Mohamed Al-Qasemi. But for Shonal Kunimal, he wins by 1.1 seconds from Leonard Titica, Nicolas Stura and Arafat Shaikh. Good work so far. There is just one Bambino time trial to go before we crown our champions in the Bambino O-Plate competition on the podium a little bit later today. Next up, it is the X30 seniors, and it's been amazing action from them so far. We had a cracking race earlier, and it really is going to be a tough battle once again. Let's talk you through the starting grid, which is the same as it was earlier on, and the results of qualifying. Joey Hansen and Modesteo Hernandez from Mane Fijawi and Liam Crystal. Carl Kumaran and Elliot Harvey. Dennis Bahar and Leroy Jagassar. Jacopo Mazza and Valentino Fritsch. In front of the leading driver in the Masters category, Craig Shenton, who hopefully is not going to incur the wrath of the stewards on the starting tram lines again. But Shenton did finish first of the Masters on the road. Vlad Dobrituiu is beside him from Rami Azam and Hugo Jid, Amir El Najjar and Miles Fleming, Jano Toysing and Harry Barlow. Abdurrahman Dulman is then next up in 19th position on the grid. And hopefully he is going to have another good run there, Dulami, having had some good performances in the first one. Alongside him is the Indian driver in the Masters Brigade, Prashant Koshar. He will be there in 20th position on the starting grid of this 12-lap race. Then Gianluca Elmaosi, Dimitris Papanastasio, Ekaterina Kazakova, Dario Rubio, Daniel Alves, Callum Marshall, Dan Becker and Alex Waring.
Callum Marshall's first race weekend, first race ever.
And that's not a bad statistic. I've just been whispered in my ear that this is Callum Marshall's first ever race weekend of any kind. It's pretty impressive considering he's in a field of senior X30 drivers. In terms of his pace earlier on, he actually did a 58.3 in qualifying. That's, to be fair, considering this is his first ever weekend, that's only 2 seconds away from Joey Hansen. My goodness, this guy's got talent. Not bad for your first race weekend at an international competition. I can't say I'm 2 seconds faster than anybody, 2 seconds off the pace of anybody fast, because I'm only 2 seconds off the pace of Dave Bell Chambers. Sorry, Dave. I'll shut up now. Oh, we won't have got my... No, I can actually have proof. I have proof. He might have been a little under the weather last night. That's all I'm going to say. Anyway, a good battle in the offing for the Senior X30 Brigade. And after the battle we saw from race one, could be very interesting indeed. Liam Crystal fighting through for the Energy team in front of GGM's Elliot Harvey. A really exciting battle for the George Gibson Motorsport driver, and very nearly a race winner as well. But second position will be a great start to his weekend. He knows perfectly well of what's at stake, and he's not going to go ugly early. Hello, Dave. Hello. I wondered if you were listening. There we go. Stitched up by Bell Chambers. Never mind, mate. See you in court. Anyway, moving on into the action for the Senior X30s. Heading out on circuit, ready for a great race in the offing. Several drivers can win this one, as we saw in race one, actually. Crystal and Harvey made the break, but in terms of race action, there's at least 9 drivers in this field, certainly starting in the top 10, who could win this one, because you've got Joey Hansen started for pole position. He's lightning over one lap, as we know. Get him into the lead and he might not be seen again. Hernandez and Hijawi have been so good on the overtakes this one. Carl Kumaran's made an amazing leap forward into the senior category. Dennis Bahar and Leroy Jagassar were both very good at overtakes through the course of the first race, so both of those two have a good shot to charge forward. There's so much at stake in this one, plenty of action to come from the Senior X30 charge. And these are the two classes, really, Senior X30 and Junior X30, where it's all happening. And everybody wants to get some good action on the horizon. But as the drivers head out onto the circuit for the Senior X30, it'll be 12 laps on the board. And for my money, I make it about 9 drivers who can win this heat alone. Here they come, round on the first rolling lap as they sight their way around the circuit. Good to see the drivers in good flowing formation. Up at the front, it'll all be about whether Liam Crystal can do the job again for Brazil. But the George Gibbons Motorsport driver, Elliot Harvey, is right up at the sharp end, and he will want to take a victory as soon as he gets a chance to. So many good drivers in this field. Even on the outskirts of the top 10, you've got the likes of Jacopo Mazza and Valentino Fritsch on the Kubica chassis, racing in the Biralat Middle East colours. They will be wanting to make good progress. Mane Fijawi, I think, will want vengeance for race one, because he had a great chance to win. And it was all taken away from him in a couple of incidents on those opening couple of laps. So he will want some recompense for that. But this is going to be a very tough battle right from the start as the drivers get themselves ready for the off. We are ready in action in Senior X30 as they file in. Hansen, Hernandez, Hijawi, Crystal, Kumaran, Harvey, Bahar, Jagasar, Matza, Fritsch, Shenton, Dobrituyu, Azam, Jeed, Al-Najjar and Fleming, with Toysing and Barlow in track as well. This is going to be a really tough start as the drivers come off the final turn in formation. Give some pause for the drivers behind. They're going to be on the flag, and it is a green, and we are go. A brilliant start. Up at the front, Joey Hansen trying to hold on to the lead, but round the outside, he's going to get some challenge from Hernandez. But Hernandez has got to concede. Joey Hansen will hold on to the lead. Hernandez trying to snap back into 3. Not going to happen as the field filters their way through the left-hander. And over the bridge once again. A really good start to the race. Nice and clean. Everybody keeping it safe and sound. Every driver in the field well aware of that old adage that you can't win on the first lap, but you certainly can lose. Here they come through the 3 left-handers onto the bridge and into the braking zone. Hansen in front, Hernandez in second, Harvey up to third, Hijawi in 4th position, and in 5th place, that looks to me like it is Dennis Bahar. Liam Crystal is in the mix there somewhere. In fact, that might be Crystal down in about 5th position, so Crystal is there or thereabouts, having started originally from P3. Seems to have not got the best of starts as Hijawi into 3rd position, in there behind Hernandez. So a good start to the race from the Jordanian, Malef Hijawi, now in P3 as they charge down the home straight. Hansen, Hernandez, Hijawi, Harvey, Crystal and Jagasar. Kumaran is in 7th from Bahar, Dobrituyu, Fritsch, Matza and Arami Azam. So a good start, but it's all plenty to play for as the racing continues on. Down on the far side, some good overtaking moves in that first stretch of laps. Behind the top 10, we've got the likes of Matza and Azam, Hugo Jid, Amar El-Najjar, Craig Shenton, Jano Toysing, Dimitris Papanastasio, the Birilat Junior Vice Champion of 2017, Harry Barlow is in the mix there as well, trying to fight up through the field as Hijawi's the second. Hijawi gets the second in front of Hernandez. Lots of jostling in the pack behind them as there's lots of overtaking in that mid-pack. Scrapping away, position after position being made up in the top 10 as the drivers now charging for the hairpin, and Hijawi in the lead. Malef Hijawi has charged forward on Joey Hansen and snatches the lead on lap 2. Malef Hijawi wants the victory. Hijawi, Hansen, Crystal now 3rd from Harvey, Hernandez down to 5th, Jagasar, Kumaran, Bahar, Fritsch, Dobrituyu and Matza. Some great battles. And that's a move up the inside as they challenge over the bridge. It's 2, 3, 4 of them squabbling away. Lots of battles over the top of the bridge, and I have a feeling that it was Liam Crystal that came off second best in all of that. Several drivers jostling away, trying to make a move. We'll find out what the form book is looking like when they come back into sight. Hijawi leads the way. Hansen, I think that's Crystal in 3rd now in front of Harvey. And then it is Hernandez and Jagasar in P6. A really good start, and out the inside, that's going to be a move from Crystal, but no, Hansen's going to get him back on the exit. Oh, good battling for second place as Liam Crystal, he's going for broke. Defensive driving there from Hansen. It's almost as if he's just resigned to the fact he can't win. He's giving away the victory out in front of Malef Hijawi, and Crystal is going for it. Crystal is on a charge. Up to the first corner, goes through in towards turn 2. Not up the inside there, but he can definitely sense that there's a weak spot from Hansen. Hansen sliding around all over the place. Crystal's got to run out of turn 4 to the inside. I think he's just about hanging on to it. Hansen's doing so much hard work to hold off, but at the expense of Liam Crystal. Crystal is losing so much ground, and as a result of him losing ground, everybody is. Hijawi's just running away with it out front. Clearly, Hansen has got a tyre issue. The car just doesn't have the grip, and that means that the guys behind are really struggling to make a way through. Hansen is making that car as wide as a Buick at the moment. Up the inside, beautiful move from Crystal. A bold move, and he's got the job done. Hansen tries to shut the door again. Harvey's going to try for him up the inside. He has to hang back from Hernandez and Jagasar, but Crystal's made the move, and that's what we're talking about now. Well, Liam Crystal had to make that overtake. He had to make the impression. Now he's got to try and get the deficit back to Malef Hijawi, as now Elliot Harvey takes on the mantle of Joey Hansen. He'll want to try and get him back. So they push on once again. Is there an opportunity? Under the bridge comes the race leader, Malef Hijawi. The Jordanian leads the way for the Birilat Middle East team. Into the chicane. Look back. There is Liam Crystal, and he is getting away from Hansen. He has built up a bit of a gap. Harvey's clearly tried to make a move on the Dutchman and had to hang back. Hernandez and Jagassar are still there. But Jagassar has now got some pressure of his own because he's now under some threat from behind. Denis Bahar, Karl Kumaran, Valentino Fritsch and Vlad Dobritio up the inside. That is a bold move there from Denis Bahar. I think he's made the move on Jagassar. So Denis Bahar, I'm fairly sure the Swiss driver has got through into the top 6. Great racing and still pushing on with a Batum. So up at the front end, the leader is Manafid Jawi. Second place is Liam Crystal. And the fastest lap of the race comes from Joey Hansen. So whatever happened to him initially, he's lost some grip and then suddenly found it again as he tags onto the back of the Brazilian Liam Crystal once again. But this is going to be interesting as down into the braking zone goes Hijawi. Crystal and Hansen are now getting away from Harvey, Hernandez and Bahar. Jagassar's losing so many places now. He's lost to Kumaran, Fritsch, and I think the Brito has got past Jagassar as well. So Fritsch is now chasing down after the brand racing driver from India, Karl Kumaran. And Karl Kumaran, of course, is fresh out of juniors into seniors and already showing that he is a worthy senior X30 champion of the future. Right up at the sharp end and putting in some good efforts already. Now, is there going to be a move on Harvey from Hernandez? Mauricio Hernandez of Peru is working so hard in behind Elliot Harvey. The British charge is there in 4th position for GGM this weekend. Still running very hard indeed, Elliot Harvey, as he tries to make light work of it. They go through on the far side, down into the braking zone for the hairpin. Manafid Jawi runs well. Second place, Liam Crystal from Joey Hansen. Harvey, Hernandez, Bahar, and then Kumaran from Valentino Fritsch, and then Vlad Dobritio from Jagassar, Azam, Matza, Al Najjar, Toysing, Shenton, Jid and Barlow. Fleming is in there as well. Some good places made from Barlow in the mid-pack, trying to work his way through. Obviously, as a former Birolart Junior Vice Champion, he will want to get up to the front end. Down the main straight, the leaders come through. Hijawi has 2.4 seconds on Liam Crystal, but crucially, Crystal is catching up to Manafid Jawi. He's taking a few tenths of a second out of him per lap. It's not quite enough to consider going for the victory. Meanwhile, in the Masters contingent, it is still looking good for Craig Shenton. He is currently 15th overall and looks good for the Masters battle. While out in front, he's actually tucked up behind Jano Toysing at the moment. So Jano Toysing is in 2nd position in the Masters fraternity. The leader of that category at the moment is actually Rami Azam. So Rami Azam is currently 11th. Then it is Jano Toysing down in 14th from Craig Shenton and Dimitris Papanastasio. Then it is Dario Rubio from Ekaterina Kazakova, Prashant Koshar, Gianluca Elmozi and Dan Becker. That's the order in the Masters contingent at the moment. Manafid Jawi leads overall by 2.4 to Liam Crystal. Joey Hansen is 3 tenths back. Then it's Harvey, Hernandez, Bahar, Kumaran, Fritsch and Dobritio. 4 laps to go, and for Manafid Jawi, it's definitely vengeance for race 1. And fighting beautifully out in the front end of the field. He'll come into sight underneath the bridge once again, and he leads comfortably. 2.5 seconds or so are in hand for Manafid Jawi as he looks good into the inside. Still going well for Liam Crystal. He's not been able to drop Joey Hansen, but he's got good rhythm and good pace in 2nd place. It's all going to be agony about Liam Crystal in the sense of what could have happened had he got past Joey Hansen a little bit earlier. Could he have been a threat to Manafid Jawi, who just looks like he's controlling the pace of his lead at the moment? It's all going reasonably well. He doesn't need to worry too much about speed or pace. He's just getting on with things at the moment. But a really good race this is for Manafid Jawi, the Jordanian, having a sensational run. Liam Crystal's just on a new fastest lap, 56.7. He does not want to finish 2nd in this race. He's trying to chip away at Hijawi any which way he can, but he's not quite going to have the time to deal with it. 3 laps to go. He's got to hope that Hijawi makes a mistake or has a problem if he's going to take the heat win. But crucially for Liam Crystal, a P2, having had a win in the earlier heat, will get him right onto the front row of the grid for the pre-final tomorrow, and that's what they're aiming for. So they're still pushing on very well. And it's still Manaf Hijawi, the Jordanian, who leads here in the Dubai O Plate in Heat 2 of the Senior X30. Crystal in second, Hansen third. From Hernandez now, where's Harvey? What's happened to Harvey? He seems to have dropped back to 7th place. So I'm not sure what happened to Elliot Harvey. I didn't see that, unfortunately. But Harvey has now slipped back into 7th, behind Hernandez, behind Bahar, and I'm guessing as well, behind Carl Kumaran. And Kumaran's actually made the move on Bahar as well. So Bahar is now down to 6th, Kumaran 5th, Harvey 7th from De Britio and Fritsch with 10th position. I'm fairly sure I'm not sure who 10th position was. If it's who it was before, then 10th position is still going to be Leroy Jagassar, but he might be getting a bit of a challenge from Rami Azam now, who's the leading master. A lap and a half to go, and Manaf Hijawi is running very well in the lead of this race indeed. He's having a really strong battle and looks pretty strong in the lead. Liam Crystal is still chipping away at it, but the gap that Hijawi has is going to be enough to sustain it. The big thing, though, is about just how well Crystal is fighting back from the difficulty. Second place is going to be pretty good considering. He's got 0.8 of a second on Hansen. He made light work of him when he had the opportunity to make the move, and he fought his way to second place when he needed to. So really good work this. The favourite for me in Senior X30 is still looking to be Liam Crystal. He still has the ability to win this whole event, but Manaf Hijawi, having got space in this heat, has definitely taken the bull by the horns in this one, into the chicane, under the crossover. In fact, Crystal is still going faster and faster. He's dropping Hansen like a lead brick now, but the difficulty is that he's run out of laps to do anything about Manaf Hijawi. So a first and a second will do fairly nicely indeed for the Energy Squad and for Liam Crystal. But out in front, it's the Jordanian who tops the timesheets in Heat 2. It is winner for Manaf Hijawi. He gets the win. A brilliant race. Liam Crystal, a fantastic second. A great fight back. Joey Hansen is third from Mauricio Hernandez, Kyle Kumaran. And across the line, it looks like there was a change on the last lap for the bottom end of the top 6. So I'd quite like to figure out who that was, actually. Across the line, it was Carl Kumaran 5th, and Elliot Harvey fought back to 6th on the last lap in front of Dennis Bahar. Then Dobritio, Valentino Fritsch, and rounding out the top 10 is Leroy Jagassar, with for the second race in a row, the leading master going the way of Rami Azam. He'll be very happy about that. 12th position goes to Jacopo Mazza from Craig Shenton and Amir Al-Najjar. Harry Barlow drove well to 15th there. Good pace from him. Hugo Gide is 16th from Toysing, Fleming, Alves and Papanastasio. Then Dulami, Koshar, Kazakova, Rubio, Marshall, El Mosi, Becker and Waring. Not a single retirement in that race either. And the whole field covered by less than 28 seconds. That's an impressive run from the Senior X30s. A clean, fast and furious race. Exactly what we wanted to see. And hopefully the grand final is going to be just as good as that. So the Senior X30s goes the way of Manaf Hijawi. In the Masters, it goes the way of Rami Azam. And here at the Dubai O Plate, we've had a pretty exceptional race there from Senior X30. But the drama doesn't stop. If anything, it's just going to boil over because we've got the Junior X30s out next. And we've already seen how strong they have been with the two stars of the show in the last race, Jamie Day and Cian Shields, having put in a fantastic show. Jamie Day on home soil, of course, knows this circuit like the back of his hand. Cian Shields, this is his first visit to Dubai, and to be as fast as he is, as quickly as he is, that shows exceptionally extraordinary talent, and it's something that I've spotted in him for the last 11 months or so. Valencia is still very much in the memory. There's not many drivers that can go to the international stage in your first weekend in Europe as a privateer and be in the top 3. That's an amazing feat. And 11 months ago, that's when he popped on my radar. And ever since then, he's never been off it. And a P2 in Heat 1, I have a feeling he won't be satisfied with that. I think he wants more. And when he gets the bull by the horns, Cian Shields, he knows how to fight his way forward. But as long as he remains in the top 3 over the course of the heats, he has a strong chance. But there are so many drivers to take it away. You can't count out Kamal Agar, who has been so strong over the course of the week leading up to this in terms of testing. He's looked very competitive right from the start of the weekend, and he pulled out the pole position, of course, earlier So Kamal Agar is definitely going to be a fighting force. There's a few drivers in the mix who want to get a little bit of recompense for what they did earlier on as well. You've only got to remember that earlier on we had the catastrophic end to the race from young Alfie Rigby when he got spat out at the chicane on the first lap. I have a feeling he'll be very much up for some payback on the rest of the field as he comes through on the first lap. There might be a few choice moves. That's the man, of course, who won the Super 1 Honda Cadet Championship title back in the UK in 2018 and has basically gone into juniors for the first time this season. So he obviously has come in at the deep end, but in terms of his speed, has been immediately in the top 10 and already looking like a top 6 driver. So I think it's not going to be long before we see what he can do. 12 laps to go. A little bit of a recovery job from that earlier race at the first corner. I think there were a couple of drivers involved in an incident at the first corner on the first lap that I didn't even see. Apologies for that. All these things escape me, you know. We don't see everything, we just talk rubbish. That's what commentators do. Anyway, the grid for the Junior X30 heat number 2 is the same as heat 1. Kamal Agar and Jamie Day from Anshul Gandhi, another one you need to keep an eye on. And the very talented Keanu Al-Azhari, who had a bit of a tough job of it in race 1. He was another one of the drivers who got spat out to the scenery, but he won't stand for that in race 2. Kian Shields is alongside Khaled Saab, with Alfie Rigby beside the Egyptian Saif Al-Nagar. Last year's winner in the Junior X30 O-Play, Konstantin Reich, will line up beside Abdurrahman Fraj. And then we have on row 6, Alexander Renner sharing the 6th row with the French lady, Alice Haynes. Apologies, the wind is picking up a little bit, I do apologise. Row 7, Carl Saad and Suleiman Zanfari. Then Kane Sherian and Patrick de Batista. Zach Scular and Fahad Al-Khaled, Andre Uziel, the Spaniard, and Yanis Maillard, the Frenchman, who's doing a very good job so far. And then Oliver Clough is there in P21 as well. So it'll be really good to see how the drivers get on here. But at the sharp end, there have already been several drivers who have put on a show. In terms of overtakes, not many people can match the likes of Keanu Al-Azhari and Kian Shields. They have been the star makers in terms of overtakes so far. But this is heat 2. That is now ancient history, race 1. We'll have to see what happens in the remaining heats of the day. And so far, so good. Kamal Agar will start from pole position. Jamie Day, having taken a victory in race 1, will want to do likewise again in race 2, but he's going to have a tough job. And don't count out the Indian in 3rd on the grid. Anshul Gandhi is going to be a very strong competitor in this race. From that 2nd row, if he gets a good start off the inside line of row 2, he is going to be tough to beat. Then you have the likes of Keanu Al-Azhari, Kian Shields and Khaled Saab, another one. Khaled Saab has got a good opportunity to move his way forward. So we'll see what we can do to bring the drivers further forward. There's a little bit of an issue in terms of the clean-up operation. I think a couple of the drivers from the Senior X30 race are just bringing things back, as it were. But once that is all done, we have 12 laps to go of racing in the Junior X30 battle. And it is going to be very tough for them again, with so many star drivers in the field. Again, you've got to look through this field and identify at least a dozen drivers who have the talent to win, and most of them are occupying the first 6 rows, in fact. There's a few of them a little about outside it. I would say Suleiman Zanfari is one who could fight his way forward to get the victory. He's another one that's been very hard to avoid over the course of the last 12 months in international competition. The Moroccan star has been doing all sorts of bits and pieces over the last few weeks. Suleiman Zanfari, of course, having taken a victory or two in his native African championships, but also as an international star has been lighting up the European racetracks in the IAMI series and also in the FIA Karting Academy Trophy, which, of course, many years ago was won by a little-known racing driver called Esteban Ocon. He seemed to do all right. Now that he's in the Mercedes-AMG Formula 1 fold as a reserve driver, and I confidently predict next year he'll be Lewis Hamilton's teammate. There, I said it. So, the X30 junior drivers are all hoping for Formula 1 one day, of course, as well. And I do think that there's several of them on this grid who have the potential to get that far. Some of them will be the first driver from their country to represent in Formula 1, if that does get to be the case. Well, there's plenty enough talent on this grid to get there. I'm trying to remember the last Moroccan Formula One driver. There haven't been many Egyptian F1 drivers in the past. And we are, of course, still waiting to see our first Emirati Formula One driver. But with the likes of Jamie Day, Keanu Al-Ajari and Khaled Saab on the grid, there's plenty of talent that could get there one day. So you never know. It's all doable. It's all possible. Kamal Agar on pole position, of course, as well, with that time he said in qualifying of a 56.349, nearly a whole tenth of a second, over a whole tenth of a second, in fact, faster than Jamie Day. But Jamie Day did his talking on the track in racing in heat number 1, grabbed the victory and grabbed the gap and never really lost the lead. So now it's up to him to go and do it again as the clean-up operation is completed over at the first corner. I think there were a couple of karts just out of position there, and now they're going to get racing underway very shortly indeed, as the drivers will get racing once again. So some good battles from several drivers in the field. Keep an eye on Konstantin Reich. He starts 9th, as he did in race 1, but if you remember from race 1, he was very much a contender for the top 3 right from the start of the weekend. So he charged his way through from 5th row of the grid in race 1 and was very quickly with the top 5. So you'll see quite a few overtakes on this first lap as the drivers are getting ready to head out on circuit once again. I gather there was actually, the reason we're delayed actually is because there was some damage to the crash barriers on the exit of turn 1. They were out of position and actually blocking the pit lane exit. So thank goodness nobody in the Senior X30 didn't need the pit lane. If they did need it, then they would definitely have been unable to get back out on the circuit safely. So that could have been a bit of a problem. But fortunately, it is not. And the drivers are now getting ready to go racing once again here at the Dubai Kartdrome. The 2019 Dubai O-Plate, a stone's throw away from the starting grid of the Dubai 24 Hours. And we can now hear out on the circuit, there is some form of machinery pounding around the Dubai Autodrome circuit. Just 7 days since the start of the 24-hour sports car race, which saw many great action last week. Okay, attention paddock. Can we please have driver number 440 and their entrant to the steward's office, please? 440 and their entrant to the steward's office, please. That is 440 and entrant. Thank you. To the steward's office, please. So we're getting ourselves ready for the start then of the Junior X30 race. And it is going to be an interesting one for Heat 2 of the weekend. We'll see some great action from the drivers out there, as it's obviously going to be a very tight battle towards the front. Kamal Agar, Jamie Day, Anshul Gandhi, Keanu Al-Ajari, Kian Shields, Khaled Saab, Alfie Rigby, Saif Al-Nagar, Konstantin Reich and Abdurrahman Fraj. There's going to be some great activity out on the circuit in the top 10. And just outside it, we'll see a few drivers trying to fight their way forward as well. Alice Haynes, the French lady, there alongside Alexander Renner. Carl Saad and Suleiman Zanfari on the 7th row. Kane Cherian and Patrick de Batista. Scolar, Al-Khaled, Uziel, Maillard and Clough. So it is going to be a very strong field. And once we do get underway again, slight problems again, we're told, getting the circuit back into race condition after we think it was an incident actually on the last lap of the race, not the first. So there might have been an incident in that last race that's caused a little bit of a delay. So I'll try and figure out what it is and get themselves ready. I know for a fact that the seniors and masters are already in scrutineering and getting themselves sorted from the previous race. I don't think it's going to be too long before the shifters and veterans are going to be making their way to the karts to get themselves ready for race action again. And of course, don't forget, folks, that there's another class in operation tomorrow, with the very, very popular Saudi World Series is back in action tomorrow, with several drivers on the grid for that one. Several of them are here already, either supporting someone else. They have an offspring in the races today and tomorrow, and several of them who just want to go out there and have a bit of fun. And I have to say, if I wasn't commentating, I'd probably be out there with them. I'd be last, but I'd still be out there with them. And it's going to be very entertaining watching those two races. None of them have actually been in the karts at all over the course of the week. They've been in the slower rental karts getting some laps in, but they've not actually been in the Saudi World Series karts that they will race in, and won't get in them until qualifying tomorrow morning. I have to say that's a a bit of a challenge I relish. I'd love the idea of seeing that and getting themselves into the action for tomorrow. A few restless spectators as we get into the action for the X30 Junior heat number 2, and then of course it will be the final heat of the weekend in each of the classes, as well as the very final time trial in the Bambino contingent, and that is where we will crown our Bambino champion. So far so good for Shonar Kunimal on that one, although Leonard Titica is definitely taking the fight to him, and the battle for third position is very close indeed across the 3 time trials. Several drivers will be bidding for that third and final place on the podium, but it is going to be a fascinating sight to observe. Marshals are back on posts, so I think it's not going to be long before we wave them out onto the circuit and get ourselves ready for action again in X30 Junior. There is a slight pause, unfortunately, and obviously once we get racing again, it will be straight back into the action. An opportunity to tell you that obviously if you're trackside, you will be well aware of what is happening. Attention paddock, can we please have driver number 363? Can you please report to the clerk of the course? That is driver number 363. Can you please report to the clerk of the course? 363 to the clerk of the course. Thank you. So while you're waiting for the start of the X30 Junior race, just to remind you, of course, that the entire weekend is not only here, obviously, at Dubai Cardrome, but it is being broadcasted live around the world on Downforce UK. All you have to do is like and subscribe to Downforce UK on Facebook or on Twitter, and you'll get all of the links for all of the coverage. You can listen to it back as well if you're obviously here and wanting to hear back. All of those recordings as well can be used to promote your drivers in different championships. It's always very important that you use all the broadcast mediums possible to get your drivers that crucial sponsor, to get them into the worlds of Formula 3 and Formula 4. So do please utilise them. They're perfectly open source. Here we go. X30 Juniors are out on circuit at last. There we are. They have now been sent out on circuit. Apologies for the delay, but we are now back in operation. So yes, if you are wanting to listen to the coverage in your trackside, all you have to do is like and subscribe to Downforce UK on Facebook and Twitter. There is an application called Spreaker. You can download that to your phone. That is free of charge. And just search for Dubai O-Plate. Nice and easy. You'll find the link. So, the drivers are up to speed once again as they get themselves into position. Kamal Agar on pole position from Jamie Day. The 2 local talents at the front end of the field, but Jamie Day victorious in the first heat of the weekend. Can he do it again? Kamal Agar and Jamie Day from Anshul Gandhi and Keanu Al-Ajari. Kean Shields and Khaled Saab, Alfie Rigby and Saif Al-Nagar, Konstantin Reich and Abdurrahman Frij. Then it's Renner, Haynes, Said and Sanfari. The carts are now lined up into their 2 lines, and they will run down the tram lines. They cannot move out of those tram lines to go racing until the green light. And that is when they'll be able to go racing. Until that time, they must remain in the tram lines. Aga, Day, Gandhi, Al-Ajari, and away we go! And it's a cracking start from the front as they roar to the first corner. No problem at all for the leaders as they come through. Tucking up, that is still Kamal Aga, I believe, into... Is that Jamie Day in the lead of the race, actually? I think he's blasted forward. So the field making their way through over the bridge for the first time. Into turn 4, down to the hairpin of 5. Watching the marshal post very closely for yellow flags, and I don't see any, so it looks perfectly clean on this first lap. And as they come down towards us, we are looking for the race leaders. They come under the bridge, and it is the 277 of Kamal Agar who leads the way as they tiptoe their way through the first chicane. That first lap was a little bit hectic on the first heat. This time it's clean as a whistle, so everybody is through safely at the end of the first lap at the halfway stage of the tour. So Kamal Agar leads the way sensibly up to second position. That looks like a very good start from Anshul Gandhi. And Gandhi, I think, has come up into second position. So away they go. And it's Kamal Agar who leads from Gandhi, Day, Shields, Reich, Saab and Al-Ajari. So already a good start as Jamie Day is now hustling underneath Anshul Gandhi. Gandhi hanging on to second position at the moment as they run to the far side. Kean Shields there in 4th place in front of Konstantin Reich, who again has shot up from the 5th row to be P5 now from Saab Al-Ajari. And then I think that's Alfie Rigby who's there in P8, still pushing very hard, having got a very clean start. Here they go, and that's the move still from Anshul Gandhi to shut the door on Jamie Day. And it looks to me as though Kean Shields is still fighting fit, although he has slipped to 5th position. And that is Konstantin Reich who's got through. So Saab is there in 6th. Al-Azhari is there in 7th position. So Keanu Al-Azhari is still there fighting for position. And the battle's still raging on as they tussle away for position. I think Shields has now lost out to Khalid Saab, actually, out of the final turn. So Aga, Gandhi, Day, Reich, Saab, Shields, Al-Azhari, and Alfie Rigby sets the fastest lap of the race on the second lap. Clearly, Alfie Rigby has got a score to settle with the mid-pack and wants to shoot his way further forward. A really good start to proceedings then from Alfie Rigby as he now settles in for a great race. Frige is 9th, Al Naga is 10th from Zanfari, Saad, Haynes, Renner and Cherian from Skular and Al Khaled. Great racing thus far as up into the lead there is still a very tasty battle as Konstantin Reich now moves to 3rd past Jamie Day. So Day is down to 4th. So Kamal Aga leads the way, Anshul Gandhi now 2nd from Reich, Day, and in 5th place Khalid Saab from the 6th place man, that is Kian Shields. Just a whisker in front of Alfie Rigby. Can we have 322 to the stewards, please? 322 to the stewards, thank you. Driver number 322, please make your way to the stewards. So far, so good for Kamal Aga, who leads the way. Kamal Aga is having a great run out in front. And he continues to lead very strongly from the get-go. Oh, hang on. 3 seconds penalty has gone to the 2:55. For 2 wheels being off the tram lines. That is Saif Al-Nagar, the Egyptian. It's a real shame for Saif Al-Nagar. So Saif Al-Nagar, unfortunately, has been given a 3-second penalty for having 2 wheels off the tram lines. A big move up the inside, and that's a very big problem there for Khaled Saab. Saab has lost 2 places. Keanu Al-Azhari makes the move. Kian Shields gets through as well, and that's a real problem. Oh, 2 carts in the wall. Now that's Alfie Rigby again in trouble. So yet again, that's a couple of drivers in the wars. That's Khaled Saab. So Khaled Saab and Alfie Rigby come together. Yet again, that's 2 races in a row where Alfie Rigby has been the victim of someone else's accident. What a shame. That's the 2nd race in a row, effectively, where Alfie Rigby has had the speed to be on the top 3. And for some reason, somebody else has had an incident in front of him and Rigby's just been collected. Totally not his own fault. And I'm not even sure that was Khaled Saab's fault either, but he was losing places dramatically. 2 or 3 had got through because Al-Azhari and Shields had got through. That sort of opened the floodgates, really, for cart after cart after cart. Somebody then got past Saab, and then Saab basically cut across and tipped into Rigby. There wasn't really a lot that either of them could do about it. One of those very irritating incidents. And unfortunately, Khaled Saab has come off worse. But Alfie Rigby has come off fairly badly as well. So out in front, it is still Kamal Aga who leads the way. Konstantin Reich now 2nd. He's got past Anshul Gandhi. Jamie Day is 3rd. Jamie Day is 4th. Then Keanu Al-Azhari. Kian Shields, Abdurrahman Frige, Saif Al-Nagar, who's got that 3-second penalty, don't forget. And then into the battle behind them, there is still a massive freight train of carts. We've got 7 laps to go. Behind Al-Nagar, you've got Zanfari in 9th, then Saad, Renner, Haynes, Sherlane, Rigby, De Batista, Skula, Al-Khaled, Clough, Uziel and Khaled Saab. With right down at the back with difficulties, Yanis Mayard is having a bit of a struggle at the moment, but there's still time to make up. Still some good battles through the field. There's a nice choice move up in the top 6. I think that is a move for 5th position. And a move back from Kian Shields. Kian Shields dueling away with Keanu Al-Azhari. Al-Azhari makes the move, but Kian Shields 1 corner later says, I don't think so. I think you'll find that's my overtaking move, thanks. So Shields gets him straight back again. Kamal Aga leads the way. Saif Al-Nagar in 8th position sets the new fastest lap, 57.055. As Alfie Rigby now charges onto the back of Kane Sherian to try and slice up another move to get back up the order. But here comes your leader. No problems at all for Kamal Aga, who has just taken the advantage out front and stretched it away. Reich is 2nd, Day is 3rd, 4th is Anshul Gandhi. Reich, Gandhi and Jamie Day, but Jamie Day's got back into 3rd position. So Jamie Day has now dealt with Anshul Gandhi. And that's Jamie Day through into 3rd position. So Gandhi down to 4th. Then it's Kian Shields in front of Keanu Al-Azhari. So Kian Shields Still looking for that podium place. Still got time to do it as well. 5 laps to go. Kamal Agar leads. Konstantin Reich in second place to Jamie Day and Anshul Gandhi. Difficulties in this one for Yanis Maillard. Not quite sure where the pace is at the moment, but having some difficulties at the present moment. And Alice Haynes, unfortunately, appears to have dropped all the way down to 7th position. Has had a difficult lap, 20th position, sorry. Alice Haynes has had a very difficult lap, a 67-second lap, so clearly she's had an off somewhere. And the French competitor has dropped down. Konstantin Reich is taking all sorts of challenges from Jamie Day now. Jamie Day is squabbling all over the back of Konstantin Reich. I have a feeling he's going to try and make the move down the back straight and into the hairpin. Jamie Day makes the lunge and makes the move. Brilliant work from Jamie Day. Slices up the inside line to shut the door down on Reich. And now Anshul Gandhi's going to have a go with Kian Shields in for good measure. And Keanu Alajari is in there as well. So there we are. Some good battles going on with the drivers as they continue to charge forward. Kamal Agar still leading. No issues there. Jamie Day second now, having fought his way past last year's winner, Konstantin Reich. Then it's Anshul Gandhi from Kian Shields, Keanu Alajari, Abdurrahman Freij and Suleiman Zanfari from Carl Saad, Alexander Renner, Saifan Nagar, Kane Sherlin and Alfie Rigby. Under the bridge for Kamal Agar. No problems for him out front. Jamie Day now second from Konstantin Reich as Kian Shields pops up in a 4th place. Keanu Alajari through to 5th. They both made light work of Anshul Gandhi. So Kian Shields into 4th. Gandhi makes the move back on Keanu Alajari in the hairpin up towards the back straight. So that's good news for Shields, having already made the move in 4th place. Now those two are squabbling away. And Gandhi's got a real problem on his hands from Keanu Alajari. They're still squabbling away over 5th position. And neither is prepared to give best. But for Kian Shields, that's gold dust. 4th position. And now looking good with 3 to go. The next challenge really for Kian Shields is to shut the door down for Anshul Gandhi. Gandhi is really causing a bit of an issue trying to get back through on front of him, but Shields is absolutely resolute. He's doing a cracking Gandalf impression at the moment. You shall not pass. Not letting anybody through today. Kamal Agar leads the way. And unfortunately, it looks as though Saif Al-Nagar is out of the race. He had problems anyway. Oh, problems there as a massive door slammed shut on Kian Shields by Konstantin Reich, and he nearly lost all of the momentum there, but well saved, well gathered up. So a really good bit of battling there as they continue to charge forward, but so far so good as Keanu Alajari has got through into 4th position, I believe. So it's Agar, Day, Reich, Alajari, Gandhi, Shields and Freij. So Kian Shields has lost 2 places on the last lap. Not sure what happened there, but it happened on the far side of the circuit to try and charge his way further forward. But with 2 to go, it's looking absolutely perfect for Kamal Agar, who leads the way at the moment. So Kamal Agar, fastest lap of the race though is a 57.0. That's Jamie Day's lap. No major surprises there. Winner of race 1. Second in race 2, Konstantin Reich in 3rd. Keanu Alajari has fought his way through to 4th in front of Anshul Gandhi and Kian Shields. And then in 7th place, is that Suleiman Zanfari? I think it might be Abdurrahman Freij actually. Well, Freij is there as well, so the 2 of those guys battling away. It might be Zanfari actually in 7th place, with the Biralat Middle East kart, of course. 1 lap to go. And it's all fine and dandy for Kamal Agar. He leads the way. Jamie Day in 2nd. Konstantin Reich in 3rd from Alajari, Gandhi, Shields, Zanfari and Freij. Saad, Renner, Cherian and Alfie Rigby recovering to 12th, but with no time, unfortunately, left to move back into 10th position. So the battle continues on, but not for Kamal Agar. It's not been a battle for quite some time now, having got himself into the lead and allowed the field to squabble. Yellow flags up at turn 5. Yellow flags at 5. So there's been an incident of some kind. And it's Kian Shields who emerges in 4th place. Goodness me, he's made up 2 places. And it looks to me as though Anshul Gandhi has gone backwards. So Keanu Alajari up to 5th on the last lap. Drama, but Shields makes up 2 places as a result. And there's a big challenge from Zanfari. He makes the move in the final couple of corners. But it's victory for your race winner, Kamal Agar. Jamie Day in second place, and third place for Konstantin Reich in front of Kian Shields in P4. Fifth place for Keanu Alajari, and sixth for Abdurrahman Freij from Suleiman Zanfari and Anshul Gandhi down to eighth. Carl Saad and Alexander Renner in the top 10. Pretty good racing so far from the Junior X30 Brigade, and that was a very tight one, but for Kamal Agar, a very worthy victory. Once he got into the lead and got some gaps to the guys behind, that race was never in doubt. And for the whole squad, a 1-2 finish as well with Jamie Day in second. They've got a lot to be happy about so far this weekend. But a really good effort from the drivers. They've been absolutely stellar so far. And now we go into the final rotation of the day as we get ready for the third heats and the fourth time trial for the Bambinos. But it will be a very pleasant end to the Friday's racing here at the Dubai Kartdrome. Just a stone's throw from the start-finish line of the Dubai 24 Hours circuit. We can even see the grandstand from our vantage point here on the balcony. And it's so far so good in terms of action. We've had some great racing from all of the categories so far. There have been some truly brilliant races over the course of these last few weeks. Here on this circuit, we've seen some good meetings at the Dubai Kartdrome, but the Dubai O-Plate is going exceptionally well. Next up on track, of course, it is the Shifters and Veterans, and it's time for the Al-Kubaisi sisters to take centre stage again as they fight for the battle of supremacy with the likes of Alessandro Stura, Anthony Hogg and Saeed Al-Ali, the 5 drivers battling away for the victory in the Shifters category. No easy achievement in this particular battle. Fastest lap of the race, by the way, in the juniors. Jamie Day did get to a 56. He got a 56.956 in the end. Really good effort from the Dubai local. Knows this circuit like the back of his hand. It's practically his back garden in terms of local racetracks. But now we're going to see some action again from the drivers in the Shifter and Veteran Brigade. It's going to be a really exciting tussle from them. And we'll see some great racing once again. The tricky thing about the gearbox karts, of course, at a circuit like this is that you don't have a lot of room to build up the momentum to an overtake. You've just got to seek an opportunity, dive, and hope that the kart is going to stop on the way through the apex and you can tidy it up. But it's hard to overtake on this circuit anyway. But in the gearbox category, it's even harder because you've got so little room to play with because the karts are so much faster. So you do have a lot of hard work to do in the shifter category, and you have to be very, very focused, very, very eager, and you obviously have to be very, very solid in terms of how you go about the job. So the drivers are getting themselves ready for the action once again in the shifter and veteran category. And this is not an easy form of racing. Obviously, the drivers have been working very hard all day long in the heat here at Dubai. About 26 degrees, I think, is the air temperature at the moment. The track temperature will probably be about 5 to 6 degrees Celsius more than that. I would imagine the track temperature is probably about 32 to 33 degrees Celsius. It's about prime for the tyres. That's why we host the main bulk of the motorsport season in the Middle East in the winter. If you did it in the summer, the tyres wouldn't last longer than about 2 laps when the air temperature is about 40 to 45 degrees. Because the track temperature, you've got to add another 5 to 6 degrees onto that. So surface temperature would probably be about 50 degrees Celsius at that point of the day. So you certainly wouldn't want to race karts on that. The tyres would just churn and certainly become very soup-like by the time they would be finished with. So good to see the competition in this stage of the world. It's been really good, actually, to come out and see what the motorsport scene is like in the Middle East. I've heard great things about it, but you don't really know until you've actually gone out and seen it for yourself. And I've seen a lot to actually want to come back several times over. It's a wonderful country. It's a great motorsport of karting here in the Middle East with great representation. The teams are friendly, amiable and very hard-working, and the people are too. It's great to see such a great strength of representation by such a brilliant country in the world of motorsport. They do a great job in putting on a show as well. The entertainment factor has been absolutely exceptional. And the racing has been worthy of any World Championship. Really, really good to see. So the shifters and veterans will be out very shortly indeed, and it will become that 5-driver battle once again. Stura, Hogg, Al-Ali and the Al-Kubaisi sisters They're going to be really, really strong all weekend long. Not much to choose between those two, Hamda and Amna, over the course of one lap. But in terms of the rhythm and consistency, Amna has regularly had just that little bit of an advantage over sister Hamda. Alessandro Stura versus Anthony Hogg will continue once again, though, on the start-finish line. Then Saeed Al-Ali will be third. Hamda Al-Kubaisi on the second row of the grid with him. Then Amna Al-Kubaisi fifth and Abdurrahman Al-Shamsi in sixth place on the grid from Brad Diaz, Walid Al-Qasemi, Dan Jones and Max Fleischmann. They're out on the circuit now for their green flag sighting lap. So it'll be worthy to get to see them as they come through on this rolling lap. Now, not all of the karts have been able to finish the races. The attrition rate in the gearbox and shifter category is always very high anyway, but obviously with the heat being quite high for gearbox racing, obviously 26, 27 degrees is not ideal for gearbox karts. There's going to be a lot of breakdowns through the course of the weekend, and we've already seen a fair few, but it's never easy when you've got so many tough battles to go up against, and it's going to be quite a tough one for all of the drivers out there. But standing start, we're getting ready for the action once again with your man in pole position, Alessandro Stura, along with Anthony Hogg, the Irishman, there in second on the grid, Saeed Al-Ali and the two Al-Kubaisi sisters, Hamda in front of Amna in the CRG Middle East squad at the front end of the grid. You can tell the difference between the two sisters out on circuit though with the karts. The brighter orange graphic stickers on Amna's car compared to Hamda's. And the drivers are ready in position as we get ready for a lightning start once again from the shifter category. The lights will come on when they go out. We're racing for Heat 3 at the bow plates for the X30 shifters. Go, go, go! Cracking start from the front again for Anthony Hogg as he blasts forward. Saeed Al-Ali protects the inside line and hangs on to third position in the early stages. As up the inside, Anthony Hogg has taken a very strong lead. A really good start there in front of Alessandro Stura, but this is the section of the circuit where Stura got him last time, and he's already starting to make a bid to come through again. But a really interesting start to proceedings, and already some good race action from the shifters on the way through the first couple of corners as they now come through on the far side of the circuit. It is still Hogg who leads this time. Hogg has held the lead in the early doors. Now, if he can hang on in the first few laps, that will be enough to keep Alessandro Stura at bay. He's held him off for longer than he ever has. Now he's got to wait for the move on the inside. Stura's going to try and go for it, and he gets there. Alessandro Stura on the inside. So Stura takes the lead. Tony Hogg is there in second place, but unfortunately once Stura gets through, he has a bit of a habit of disappearing. So Stura leads, Hogg second, Saeed Al-Ali, Hamda Al-Kubaisi, Amna Al-Kubaisi, Abdurrahman Al-Shamsi and Brad Diaz from Max Fleischmann, Walid Al-Qasemi and Dan Jones. That is the order at the front end of the field. And as they disappear over the bridge once again, it's going to be a really strong battle that waits us with Alessandro Stura trying to get away from Tony Hogg. Tony's got to retaliate early if he wants to stand any chance at all of overhauling the Italian today. And already there's a bit of a gap between them. I think that is now Hamda Al-Kubaisi in behind Amna. Have they swapped over? I think they might have done already. Down the back straight. We'll double check as they come through, but Stura is leading. No, Hamda has not been overtaken by Amna Al-Kubaisi just yet, but Amna is still fighting forward. They don't want favouritism between the two of them either. They both want to give as good as they've got, and they really enjoy their racing, both of them. They enjoy competing against each other, and they really enjoy the sport of it. This is great training for Amna Al-Kubaisi in terms of her international season as well. So, top five, unchanged from the last lap. Stura still in the lead from Tony Hogg, Al-Ali and the Al-Kubaisi sisters. Hamda in front of Amna. Then Al-Shamsi, Diaz, Al-Qasemi and Fleischmann. A non-start, unfortunately, for Dan Jones. So Dan Jones unable to begin this race. As we've seen before, technical problems very much in the offing. And I think this time, Amna Al-Kubaisi has now got past Hamda. So she is now into fourth position, charging after the top three. And we saw what happened in the previous race with Amna in front of Hamda, and that's going to be an interesting dynamic again as Amna Al-Kubaisi starts to chase after the leading pair in front of them. Well, Alessandro Stura is the leader, but obviously you've got those two, Hogg and Saeed Al-Ali, working very hard together as they charge forward. No major dramas at the moment, but Saeed Al-Ali continues to run in third position, tucked up underneath Tony Hogg. Tony Hogg still running well, the Ulsterman in second place, just not able to hang on in front of Alessandro Stura, who just has so much more confidence in the braking zones and is able to just dive in on the first lap and take those places away. Stura leads, second Hogg, third is Saeed Al-Ali. It must be so difficult, taking into account how physical this race circuit is anyway, and then having to factor into that the gear shifting that goes on through the course of a lap. It must be so fast, but equally so physical. A really exciting battle from the drivers. They've put on such an impressive show. But Alessandro Stura still leads the way from Tony Hogg in second, Saeed Al-Ali, Hamder Al-Kubaisi in fifth from Abdurrahman Al-Shamsi, and then it is Brad Diaz, Walid Al-Qasemi, Max Fleischmann, and then the retirement, of course, is Dan Jones. So no major changes at the sharp end. It's going really well, having an absolutely fantastic run so far. Some great battles, but Alessandro Stura is still your leader. 2.6 seconds clear now of Tony Hogg as he comes under the bridge and up towards the chicane once again. The Tony Kart driver from Italy having a really strong run. Really good performances thus far. Third position now. That looks to me like Amr Al-Kubaisi. Al-Kubaisi has got through into third place. Now I wonder, is that Saeed Al-Ali who has dropped back to fourth? Yes, it is. So Saeed Al-Ali has now dropped back into fourth position, and that is going to put him in the clutches of Hamder Al-Kubaisi. But straight away, Hamder Al-Kubaisi is already on the back of Tony Hogg. So Tony Hogg is running in second place, but it might not be for long with Hamder Al-Kubaisi putting in such a strong effort up towards the first corner, seeking a look for the inside line and diving. Not quite going to go through on the inside at turn one. That's high risk in a gearbox kart, to be fair. There are so many factors through that first couple of corners. You've just got to stay in line and save it for the later part of the circuit. Probably into the chicane under the flyover or at the back straight hairpin. Under the bridge comes Stura, continues to lead the way, looking very strong. On the far side, we've got Tony Hogg hanging on in front of Amr Al-Kubaisi. Amr Al-Kubaisi working very hard indeed up towards the hairpin once again, looking very hungry for second place. Down the back straight, I'm not sure she's quite going to be close enough to Tony Hogg to throw it to the inside of the hairpin, and no, she's not. But Saeed Al-Ali is right there. Oh, a lovely move on the inside from Amr Al-Kubaisi. Pulled that one out of nowhere into the left-hand hairpin after the back straight. That's incredible. It's a brave driver that goes for the move there. If you ever had any doubts as to how good Amr Al-Kubaisi is, you've just been silenced. That's an incredible move from Amr Al-Kubaisi. Really strong move. Not a lot that Tony Hogg could do about that one, except now retaliate. A very cheeky dive on the inside there at the hairpin. But now this is up to Tony Hogg to try and fight back underneath the bridge. And Tony Hogg is going to try and come back at Amr Al-Kubaisi. Fourth position, Saeed Al-Ali will want to have a piece of Tony Hogg as well. But Tony Hogg looks fairly solid in third place this time. He's got a much better rhythm than he had in the first two heats. So I think a third position is very much in the offing for Tony Hogg. Looking very good there in third position. Still in the wheel tracks of Amr Al-Kubaisi. Alessandro Stura is just in a different level at the moment. Once he gets into that lead, it's very hard to take it away from him. But in Heat 2, we saw, of course, with 5 laps to go, we saw in Heat 2 earlier that once Amr Al-Kubaisi got into second position, she started to chip away at race leader Alessandro Stura, and the gap is 4.6 seconds. So yet again, there is not going to be enough time for Amr Al-Kubaisi to close in on Alessandro Stura to the extent of a race victory. But there's definitely going to be a good chance for her to get onto the front row of the grid for the pre-final tomorrow, and that is what they want. If she's in with a contention tomorrow, then she has a chance and will actually have the advantage of... It's actually an advantage to be in second on the grid here rather than first, because first has the inside line, of course, and it's actually faster through turn one around the outside on the first lap. We've seen several drivers go from second to first over the course of the day already. So that's an interesting factor into tomorrow. 4 laps to go. Now, further back, we've got Saeed Al-Ali all over the back of Anthony Hogg again. So Saeed Al-Ali is going to go for the move on the inside, tries to get up the inside of Hogg. No chance. Tony Hogg shuts the door firmly there. That's a brave overtaking attempt by Saeed Al-Ali, but he's never going to get that one to work in the tight second-hand hairpin for the right-hander. So he had to bail out of that move. Alessandro Sturra still out in front, leading well from Amner Al-Khabaisi in second place, but the battle is for third now. Tony Hogg has got Saeed Al-Ali all over him, and Hamder Al-Khabaisi is not far behind either. So that move has been shut down by Tony Hogg in third position. There's also a nice little battle shaping up between Brad Diaz and Abdurrahman Al-Shamsi. So Al-Shamsi's trying to get the move on Brad Diaz and is not quite able to make the move. We've had two retirements, of course, from this race. Max Fleischmann and Walid Al-Qasemi stopped out on circuit. Both of them have retreated to the pits. Whoa, a big slide there from Abdurrahman Al-Shamsi out of the final couple of chicane corners. Really struggling to keep the car in the straight and narrow through the left-right of the final S's. It's a difficult part of the circuit, that, to get right. So it's never easy, and the drivers have had to work very hard to get it straightened up. Alessandro Sturra still leads. Amner Al-Khabaisi second. This is a nice and easy run for Alessandro Sturra. Doesn't have to panic too much. He's actually looking after the car quite considerably now. A few tenths of a second per lap back from Amner Al-Khabaisi per lap, but with a big enough lead not to be panicking with 2.5 laps to go. But third, fourth and fifth are undecided yet because we still have Tony Hogg there in third position trying to... Contact out of the fourth corner as Hamder Al-Khabaisi tried to make the move on Saeed Al-Ali, and the teammates have touched. Saeed Al-Ali is in the grass on the exit of turn 11, I think that is. Wow, trouble in paradise. They do say, what's the first rule of motor racing? Don't hit your teammate. And that is exactly what has happened. Wow, disaster for Saeed Al-Ali. He gets going again, but that's a big problem, and that's really hampered his weekend because that has dropped him back. And there's another yellow flag. That's up at turn 2. Is that Hamder Al-Khabaisi? I think she's taken damage from the incident, and she has parked the cart. Oh, Hamder Al-Khabaisi, I think, has parked the cart up at turn 2. So damage from that incident has meant that Hamder's race is over. Oh, it's Amner. I'm sorry, it's the other Al-Khabaisi. It's Amner Al-Khabaisi from second. Mechanical failure from Amner Al-Khabaisi. Absolute disaster there. Hamder is still there, tucked up in fourth position or so, but that's a disaster. Alessandro Sturra is now on his own to Tony Hogg, and Hamder Al-Khabaisi is third to Brad Diaz and Abdurrahman Al-Shamsi. Amner Al-Khabaisi is out of this race. Well, that's thrown a spanner in the works of the whole weekend. Looking good for the front row of the grid, but I wonder if that could be the carb troubles that she had in qualifying may well have returned. And it's devastating for Amner Al-Khabaisi. She looks absolutely fed up there up at turn 2. And I think I would be too if I'd fought my way into second position and was looking good to start the finals from the front row. Such a shame for Amner Al-Khabaisi. That was going so well. But the final lap has already become upon us, and Alessandro Sturra takes the checkered flag for 3 wins out of 3. Tony Hogg in a valiant second place, and Hamder Al-Khabaisi comes through for third. Fourth place is Brad Diaz, having shaken off the attentions of Abdurrahman Al-Shamsi. A fourth and fifth place for them, and a very disappointed Saeed Al-Ali is going to come through in P6. But for Amner Al-Khabaisi, it's devastatingly bad luck. And that's really put a crimp on the weekend from her point of view. Looking good for the front row of the starting grid alongside Alessandro Sturra for the pre-final. She's going to have to dig deep and find the magic in tomorrow's pre-final. That's a real shame. A real shame for Amner Al-Khabaisi. A very, very poor run of luck there. But a great race for Alessandro Sturra once again. 3 wins from 3 for the Italian, and he looks absolutely the favourite now to get the job done. All he has to do essentially is get himself into the lead as he has done in the first 3 heats, and he will be absolutely fine and dandy right to the checkered flag. For Alessandro Sturra, it's keep on carrying on as he takes 3 wins from 3 in the shifters. Second place for Anthony Hogg, and third for Hamder Al-Khabaisi, as her sister Amner Al-Khabaisi rather dramatically retires from the race from P2 while catching Alessandro Sturra with a mechanical failure. Such a shame for Amner Al-Khabaisi, and hopefully there is more where that came from tomorrow in what could end up being a very dramatic pre-final. So we go from the shifters and veterans into the cadets and rookies now. It's been a very exciting battle for them all weekend with a lot of great talent in this field and obviously a photo finish from the earlier race. We'll tell you about that in a moment. Attention paddock, can we please have the following numbers of drivers to the stewards, please? 214, 276 and 228. So can we, oh, and 246 as well, my apologies. So let's read through the, oh, and we've also got 202 and 281. So I'm going to read all of those numbers again. 214, 276, 228, 246, 202 and 281. Can all 6 of those drivers please report to the steward's office, please? Thank you very much. Obviously a very busy race that one was. I'm glad it's not me, that's all I'm saying. Anyway, back into the action we go for the cadets and rookies for what has been a really exciting day's action for the cadets and rookies so far. And I have to say, the talent this year is really starting to show some great potential for the future of motorsport on the world stage. There are some great battles here, particularly from the Italian contingent. The Italians have done really well. Let's have a quick word, if we can, with Andre Uziel.
Yeah, I was just asking if they called me to the...
I think they might have done, not sure. Double check. Definitely double check, mate. So, I thought he was going to have an interview. You can come back for one in a minute, mate. I thought we were going to have an interview then. Maybe next time. So we go into the action for the cadets and rookies. And, of course, we all remember how amazing the last race was for them. We had a photo finish across the start-finish line from the cadets and rookies last time. Valerio Renicella and Federico Al Rifai were separated by inches at the flag with 0.045, the winning advantage for Valerio Renicella, who has now won 2 races out of 3 and could well make it a hat-trick in this third and final race. It's a very sad sight of Amna Al-Kubaisi is returned back to the pits after her breakdown in the earlier race. That's a real shame. And then, of course, we have Valerio Renicella on the front of the grid for the cadets and rookies race. Al Rifai second from Parmigiani, and Dexter on the second row of the grid. 3 Italians and the Brit in position. 5th position on the starting grid. On the third row is going to be Liverday Sam Budler, and then Leo Nielsen beside him with Sofia Necci, Zayed Haddad, Sakir Al-Qasemi and Ben Wade from Zach Stimson and Hamza Al-Fayez on the 6th row of the starting grid as the cadets and rookies are about to head out onto the circuit once again. They are now heading their way out on circuit. On the 7th row is Oliver Naylor with Oscar Lambert from Matteo Quintarelli and Luca Horton, Anesso Mufamulu and Enzo Ruggiero from Harry Hanam, Adam Alajari, Sultan Kodali and Enzo Pedraza. So that is your field of 22. A very tough battle for a lot of the drivers in the various positions through the field. And good to see so many great races over the course of the day. But there will be some tough battles to have as the racing continues. So now we have some good battles to race for over the course of the next 10 laps of the cadets and rookies race. Renicella was really pushed all the way to the victory in the last race, with Federico Al Rifai really stinking his reputation there. Up to the front end, and I have a feeling that Federico will be back for more in this third heat, and I have a feeling that second wasn't good enough for him. He'll want to go for the victory, but what a show. Definitely the most exciting finish to a race we've had all weekend thus far, and we might well get another one with them being in such a good position in terms of their speed and prowess. But there is still some great racing to come. Apologies for the increase in the wind. There isn't really anything I can do to switch it off, unfortunately. It's just here, and I'd rather be outside watching it rather than stuck in a commentary box slowly poaching. But at least we get some nice cool breeze down here up on the start-finish straight. We're loving the wind, but the radio listeners back home might not be quite enjoying it quite so much. Apologies, it will abate in a moment. Anyway, the cadets and rookies are out on track on their green flag lap. And it's Renicella from Al Rifai, Parmigiani from Dexter, Sam Budler from Nilsson, and Necci, Haddad, Al-Qasemi and Wade. So some good battles through this field are expected and almost certainly guaranteed. But the question is, who's going to do what? It's not very clear cut at the moment in the cadets and rookies races. The first 2 heats have seen a very good start from Rinicella. He disappeared into the distance in race 1. In race 2, he had a very tall order to get himself further up the order, and eventually had an amazing monumental challenge from Federico Al Rifai. But what is going to happen this time, we will find out as the drivers are getting themselves ready for the action. They come out of the final turn. We're hoping for a green flag start straight away. We've not had any false starts, and we're not going to get another one. Here we go. Terrific start. A really good battle. And into the first corner, Federico Al Rifai already starting to go for the move as he tries to get tucked up in there. Up for the inside line. Is he going to take the lead? No, he's not quite. Yellow flags down at the back. Looks like somebody within the last 4 or 5 carts has had a bit of a spin there. Now, I wonder if that's one of the drivers who's been impeded earlier on in the weekend. We will find out as they come through under the bridge. So let's see how the drivers are going to come through as they come under the bridge this time. It is Rinicella who leads the way. Up to second, Parmigiani. Then it is, I think that's Federico Al Rifai in third position. Fourth place, that looks like Dexter. And then we've got a couple of battles. Oh, contact for second and third! Federico Al Rifai and Parmigiani collect each other as they go through together. I think that was a very eager move there from Al Rifai, trying to come up the inside, and they just ended up shutting the door on each other. Federico Al Rifai has recovered, but he's lost several places, and we've got yellow flags on the run to the hairpin as well. I think we've lost Parmigiani. Parmigiani has come to a stop on the exit of the hairpin, so it's Rinicella, Dexter, Sam Butler, Al-Qasemi, Wade is there, Haddad, Al-Fayez, and then making his way through the field. I'm fairly sure it's Hannum trying to make his way through. Seen him make up a couple of places on the first lap already, but it looks to me as though Filippo Parmigiani is out of the race. Yes, there he is at the final hairpin, making his way to the marshal post. So, courtesy of that damage with Federico Al Rifai, it looks as though Parmigiani's race is over. What a shame. And that means we could end up with 3 completely different winners in the rookie race. Because we've had Parmigiani win one, we've had Luviwe Sam Butler, the South African, win one, but he is leading the rookie charge at the moment. Valerio Rinicella leads, and that's a very strong move again into the hairpin from, I think that's Dexter making the move. Charges his way forward. Out of the final turn and down the main street. Now, there are 3-second penalties being handed out to 2 competitors, and one of them is Max Dexter. Max Dexter is going to get a penalty for 2 wheels being off the tram lines. A 3-second penalty is being applied to Max Dexter, the man who has just taken second place. That is devastatingly bad luck. So he's got to get 3 seconds away from everybody else. And the other one to receive the same penalty, the 171, is Federico Al Rifai. Federico Al Rifai has also been given the same penalty for 2 wheels out of the tram line. So that is a big disaster for both of them. So that is going to have to be taken into account at the end of the race. What a shame. Both drivers there given the same 3 seconds penalty. But for Valerio Rinicella, he leads the way on the road, certainly from Dexter. Then Sam Butler, the South African, is there in third position. But there's a great little tussle further back in the pack as they're all trying to make a bold move or two. That was a brilliant move from Sultan Kodal. Sultan Kodal has made a fantastic move there. Sultan Kodali, I think, up into 13th place with that move on Leo Nilsson. So he's charging his way through from the back of the pack as well. Don't forget that Harry Hannum and Adam Al-Ajari are doing the same thing as well. They're trying to move their way through the field, having had their exclusions of times in qualifying earlier for being underweight. So Rinicella, Dexter, Sam Butler, Al-Qasemi, Wade and Haddad is the order at the moment. As they come under the bridge, it's still going well for our race leader. No change at all for the Italian who leads the way. Valerio Rinicella, Dexter, Sam Butler, Al-Qasemi, Wade, Haddad, Al-Fayez, Al Rifai, Luca Horton and Harry Hannum. Harry Hannum is there in P10 now. So Harry Hannum doing a fantastic job. And he's just continuing on his charge now up into 10th position. Still with plenty of time to make up. And he's getting about it very well indeed. The battle for second place is really intensifying because Dexter is hanging on to second position by a thread. And there are several drivers trying to get him on now, as Sam Budler is going to try and make the bid for second position. He's not quite close enough yet, but Dexter's run deep, and this could be a chance for Sam Budler up the inside. A bit of a compromise from Sakir Al-Qasemi. Al-Qasemi has to hang back. Wade Haddad and Al Fayez are very close in there, and now tagging onto the back of the queue is Federico Al Rifai. He has fought his way back, and he's now in P8. So as he charges his way forward, he has got a chance to work his magic under the bridge. Still, your leader is Valerio Renicella. Second is Dexter. Third is Luvave Sam Budler. Sakir Al-Qasemi in the Birilat squad. They're in fourth position. Then it is Ben Wade from Zayed Haddad and Hamza Al Fayez. Up the inside, Federico Al Rifai trying to get on the inside of Al Fayez on the hairpin. Wasn't quite able to make the move, successful one. Trying again into the braking zone for the last couple of hairpins. I have a feeling he might get a chance into turn one, but he's there in P8 at the moment, and he's got to try and make up a lot of time because he's still about 3 seconds deficit to find, of course. That will come a bit later when he gets the 3 seconds added to his time afterwards, unfortunately, for having two wheels out of the tram line. Similar, though, for Max Dexter. So technically speaking, at the moment, Max Dexter is actually running in 9th place behind Harry Hannum. And by that same token, Federico Al Rifai is probably going to find himself, well, with the 3 seconds penalty for being two wheels off the tram line, is probably going to find himself down in, well, it's only going to be about 11th place, so he won't lose too many places. But over the course of the race, that will change based on how big a gap the leaders get. So Al Rifai is going to have another look. Dexter's still hanging on to second for dear life, but he's got a lot of pressure from the man in third position, still chucking everything at him. Luvave Sam Budler, as Federico Al Rifai makes the move, and this time he does make it stick. Up into P7 he goes. So that was nicely done from Federico Al Rifai. His next target is going to be Hamza Al Fayez, I think. So as they come down over the straight, he has the fastest lap of the race as well, a 63.307. So Federico Al Rifai is definitely the fastest man on track. He's got past Hamza Al Fayez. He's now going after Zayed Haddad in P6. And what of the trials and tribulations of Harry Hannum, I should say. So many people from the Middle East. I'm trying my best to get the pronunciations right and falling up on the wrong ones. Harry Hannum is there in P9 at the moment and closing in on Hamza Al Fayez fairly rapidly. In fact, he's got him. Is that Federico Al Rifai as well? It is. So Harry Hannum has made up a couple of good places there on the lap. Very impressive work from Hannum on that last lap. Several places made and charging his way forward. Nobody quite able to run close enough to get on terms with Valerio Renicella, though. So Renicella continues out in front. Dexter in second position still. So there's no dramatic changes to the form book at the moment as they continue to work on. And it's going to be a really interesting run for the rest of this race now. Renicella still holding the advantage. Second place, Dexter hanging on to everything in front of Luvave Sam Budler. The South African Sam Budler is doing a very good job of trying to get into that second place slot. As the leading rookie, he has a real chance to finish this job off. And his close rival, sadly, Filippo Parmigiani, can do nothing but watch from the sidelines. Luvave Sam Budler, the South African, as his countrymen, Anuso Mafamulo and Enzo Ruggiero, are currently bookending the field in their battle with Matteo Quintarelli. But out in front, it is still a good tussle. Second position is a pretty intense squabble now. Dexter, Sam Budler, Al-Qasemi and Wade as the five of them squabble. Yellow flags, we've got a spin towards the back of the field. Not quite sure who that was, unfortunately, that went. But it looks to me as though we're going to have one driver tumbling down the timesheets towards the sharp end. Still going well for Al-Qasemi, though. Al-Qasemi's having a good run and is there right in behind Sam Budler. Fastest lap of the race as well from Sakir Al-Qasemi. A new fastest lap from Sakir, a 103.165. So some good performances there. And it looks as though Matteo Quintarelli, unfortunately, is now out of the race. I hadn't spotted that, unfortunately, but Matteo Quintarelli is out of the race. And who was it that dropped back a long way? I think that was Enzo Ruggiero, unfortunately, who had that incident earlier on. So Enzo Ruggiero having an incident and a spin there. Second place is still anybody's guess as Sakir Al-Qasemi is the man on the move, trying to knock on the door of third place Luvave Sam Budler. Sam Budler is still hanging on to third position for the moment, but Sakiel Alcasemi is really pushing hard into a battle for third position if he can get there. Sakiel Alcasemi is working very hard now as he comes into the final turn. Down the back straight. Oh, a nice move there. Oh, contact! Oh, a good move there from Sultan Kadali, but Leo Nielsen was trying his best to hang in there, and I think he wasn't quite prepared to accept that the move was already done by Sultan Kadali. Kadali made the move on the inside. Leo Nielsen was not really prepared to give him the circuit and tried to stick in there, and unfortunately they just tagged each other. Nothing Sultan Kadali did wrong there at all. Made the move and shut the door. You're allowed to do that once you've made the move, but Leo Nielsen, I think, just wasn't prepared to let him have the place. So we're on the final lap now, and it's Valerio Rinicello. Oh, a new fastest lap comes in from Harry Hannum, and I'm not surprised at all. He is absolutely flying through this field, still trying to shake off Federico Al Rifai. But the victory for the third time today is going to go to the Italian out front. Valerio Rinicello is going to follow in the same guise as Alessandro Stura. Is there a move for second on the last lap? There is a move through from Livive Samdullah. Has got through in a second. It's a win for Rinicello. Samdullah gets second on the last lap from Dexter and Alcasemi in fourth place. Great job. Wade is fifth. Al Fayez is sixth from Adam Alajari and Harry Hannum. Terrific stuff from the pair of them. But of course, that means that Sakiel Alcasemi is actually third when you take into account that the driver in third position, Max Dexter, will be given a 3-second penalty for having two wheels off the tram line at the start. So for Sakiel Alcasemi, that is actually a third place finish. Brilliant job there from Sakiel. Really motivated all weekend long. Livive Samdullah didn't even have to make the move on Max Dexter in the final lap, but he did it anyway. Sakiel Alcasemi will be in front of Ben Wade. And then it will be Max Dexter, so he won't actually lose too many places. He'll only drop to fifth. So that's not too bad from Dexter's point of view. It's not third place, but at least it's still in the top five. Then it will be Hamza Al Fayez from Adam Alajari, Harry Hannam, and then Federico Al Rifai will lose 2 places based on his 3 seconds penalty for having two wheels off the tram line as well. So it's going to be an interesting one. And there we are. There's your cadets and rookies done and dusted. So Federico Al Rifai will drop back behind Zaid Haddad and Sultan Kadali, who will be elevated up to, let me do the math, I think that's 9th place. And then Federico Al Rifai will drop to 10th with that 3-second penalty. But another great race there from the cadets and rookies. Not the photo finish we've had in the second heat, but definitely still a very good encounter indeed and great racing from all. So now it's a question into tomorrow is, can anybody beat Valerio? Can anybody beat our man at the top spot, Valerio Rinicello? We will find out when we go into the pre-final tomorrow. Next up, though, it is the Bambinos contingent, and obviously a great bunch of drivers in this grid for the last time this weekend as well. The 4th and final time trial for the Bambinos in the Dubai O Plate. And it's the deciding factor, this one. This is the one that will crown us a champion in the Dubai O Plate. And in about 10 minutes or so time, we will find out if Shonal Kunimal of India has got the job done in fine style. He's going to get a lot of pressure from the drivers behind him, though. It is going to be very tough for him because the pressure cooker will never have been higher than it is in this heat. He's got to take into account the fact that you've obviously got Leonard Titica, who is working very hard indeed and catching him like crazy. Then there's also the pressure from the guys in there behind. Arafat Shaikh has been very strong, and it looks like he could go for third position here. There's obviously going to be some pressure from the likes of Nicolas Stura, from Ilion Maillard, and from Max Murray as well. Big talents in this field. They'll all want to take a podium finish at the end of a strong meeting, and it is going to be very tight at the top. But so far, so good for Shonal Kunimal, the Indian. Hopefully he will finish the job, but it will be tough for him. He knows how much pressure there is resting on his shoulders before he can walk away as the O-Plate winner. So the drivers are getting ready for their last action of the weekend, the Bambinos. been a lot of testing over the course of the days prior to this meeting, of course. But now this is the one they've all come for. And obviously we will have the remainders of our heats, starting with the X30 seniors and then the juniors after this heat. And then we will wrap up proceedings for the day. So just 3 events left. That is the Bambinos, the seniors and the juniors. And then we will be ready for tomorrow's action as well, which will be adding another championship to the ranks. Of course, we will have the Saudi World Series tomorrow as well, with their qualifying and 2 races. And we're really excited to see what the Saudi World Series competitors can do. It's going to be a really exciting battle with several drivers already staking a claim for the top spot. British listeners back home can obviously root for Abigail Birch, who is looking to have a really strong run. And that's a race that we're going to talk to you more about tomorrow when all of the drivers get to the circuit. But there's a lot of local talent who know this circuit very well. So it's obviously going to be a very tough battle. Not that Abigail Birch doesn't know this circuit very well, of course, because she does, and knows it pretty much like the back of her hand now. So it's going to be an interesting one with the Saudi World Series tomorrow, and no doubt there's going to be a few people here in the paddock who are up for the spoils of war tomorrow. But for now, it is going to be a very interesting challenge for the drivers as they battle away for the victory in the last reckoning of the Bambino's time trial. Now, I think there's just a little bit of a clean-up job for Filippo Parmigiani, whose kart is out there, of course, down at the hairpin. Nice to hear the cars in action on the far side of the paddock there, because obviously we are literally across the road from Dubai Autodrome itself. Very proud to say that my hotel room was looking onto the final turn, which I think might be the most spectacular view in the entirety of motorsport hotels. So I want that hotel room every year until I drop dead, thank you. Nobody else can have that room, by the way. I've already claimed it. It's mine, don't worry. No chance. Room 427, it's the best. It's the best room. And it's a fantastic hotel. A massive thank you, by the way, to the Radisson Park Hotel for supporting the event as usual and being a good partner. It's going to be really good to see how everybody continues on with the rest of the meeting. Obviously, we have done all of the heats now in the cadets and shifters running. They will be back again tomorrow for their pre-finals and finals, and that will be the races that everybody has come to see. They will have a warm-up session in the morning, of course, as well, but we are going to be there for the qualifying sessions for the Saudi World Series for the seniors and masters, and then, of course, we will have the battle ahead of us as well for the pre-finals and grand finals in each of the categories, for shifters, for cadets and rookies, for seniors and juniors. But this is the final Bambino event of the Dubai O-Plate weekend, and that is time trial 4, and it's going to be fought out between these 12 drivers. The time has started, and it's 10 minutes time. We will know who is going to walk away as the Dubai O-Plate Bambino champion. It is all down to these 12 drivers to put on a bit of a show, and they will be out in force. Karim Azi, Nicolas Stura, Mohamed Al-Qasemi, Leonard Titica, Anthony Joe Khalil, Sean Al-Kumal, Maxim Bobrishov, Ilion Mayard, Leonardis Parizzi, Arafat Shaikh, Max Murray and Cohen Naylor will be fighting it out for the honours to make sure everything will get underway. 12 drivers battling for supremacy for the top of the podium, and they will race for supremacy on the top spot. So obviously they've got to try and get the brakes and the tyres up to temperature to make sure that they're at their peak operational time zone. They've got to be absolutely on the spot to make sure that they can get the most out of their machines. The first one to go out and set a lap is going to be Nicolas Stura. Fantastic contrast, listening to the Bambinos going around, and then you hear GT machinery on the main straight at Dubai Autodrome just behind it. It's great to see that. So Nicolas Stura running very well. Mo Al-Qasemi in there in second position from Leonard Titigat, Anthony Joe Khalil and Shonal Kunimal. The drivers out on circuit getting their fast laps in. Here's Ilion Mayard. Ilion Mayard is going to have a very strong run here, hopefully, after some difficulties in the third time trial. They should have everything together ready for this one, hopefully. Arafat Shaikh, Leonardis Peruzzi, Maxim Bobrishov, Max Murray, Karim Azi and Cohen Naylor, of course, in the mix as well. So it's all fine at the moment, but it is going to be a very tough battle in the Bambino category, particularly in the realms of 3rd place to 7th place. It's very close between those 5 drivers, and they'll all want to have a really clean run to finish off their meeting. So the battle is obviously going to be a really strong one. We'll get an indication as to how much work there is to do when they have completed their first flying laps. And it's going to be a really strong performance from all of these drivers. They are putting in such a good effort. It still baffles me when you really sit back and think about it, that these guys are 6 to 8 years old and they are such incredible athletes. I think about the fact that I have a daughter who's 8 and a son who's 6. I can't imagine either of them being at this level in karting. And it really is a full credit to the drivers out there who are putting on such an amazing performance and really demonstrating their craft and prowess at the moment. So up to the far side, having a good performance. The first flying laps are coming in. Shonal Kunamal has hit big with a 1:18.1 straight off the bat, but don't forget that his fastest time was about 5 seconds faster than that in the 3rd sector. Nicholas Stura is currently 2nd on a 1:18.4, then Leonard Titiker on a 1:18.5, Max Murray's done a 1:19.2, then Karim Azzi on a 1:19.8, Ilion Maillard has done a 1:20.6, Leo Peruzzi has come through on a 1:20.7, Arafat Sheikh on a 1:21.0, Anthony Joe Khalil is on a 1:22.1, Maxim Bobrashov on a 1:23.8, Mohamed Al-Qasemi on a 1:26.1, and Cohen Naylor on a 1:27.2. That's where we are at the moment. There's still time to find as Leonard Titiker does a 1:17.6. So it's time to get the game on then, as Leonard Titiker finds a big amount of time. And Shonal Kunamal finds even more, a 1:14.6 for his 2nd flying lap. He has come here with one objective in mind: win or bust. Absolutely brilliant from Shonal Kunamal. Titiker in 2nd now on a 1:17.6. Nicholas Stura on a 1:18.4. Ilion Maillard's done a great job, a 1:19.2 there. That's a really strong run from Ilion Maillard, back to the same sort of pace we saw from him in the 2nd heat. So a really good run for the moment. Max Murray in 5th place from Arafat Sheikh, Karim Azzi, Leo Peruzzi, AJ Khalil, Maxim Bobrashov, Mohamed Al-Qasemi and Cohen Naylor as the battle continues. They are still getting a lot of good speed out of the kart at the moment as they continue to charge forward, looking for another good couple of lap times. Leonard Titiker is about 3 seconds away from Shonal Kunamal's best of a 1:14.6. But we know how close to his times Leonard Titiker can get, so he's just building up to it. There's still time to find. But for the moment, it is going to be quite close. And there is Shonal Kunamal, done a 1:14.3. Now, that's about the fastest time Leonard Titiker has done. He's done a 1:14.2 as his best lap so far, Leonard Titiker. So they need to keep the pace up. They need to keep finding that speed, because it could well be Leonard Titiker that takes the battle away from Shonal Kunamal. A nice bit of driving there from the number 1. That is Karim Azzi. Karim Azzi is obviously wanting to get the top 5 once again. He's in 6th at the moment on a 1:19.2. So he's definitely heading in the right direction. Leonard Titiker 2nd. Nicholas Stura is 3rd. 4th is Ilion Maillard. And then we have Max Murray and Karim Azzi from Arafat Sheikh, AJ Khalil, Leo Peruzzi, Maxim Bobrashov, Mohamed Al-Qasemi and Cohen Naylor. So let's see how they come through. Shonal Kunamal on a 1:14.3 at the moment. Everybody coming through in a good frame of mind. Let's have a look at the pace. A 1:14.3 from Shonal Kunamal still. No major improvements there. And it's a 1:17.5 from Nicholas Stura, who goes 2nd. Nicholas Stura up to 2nd place now. So a really good effort there from Nicholas, who's done a 1:17.5. Leonard Titiker is just 0.04 of a second slower than him on a 1:17.578. So Leonard Titiker is still hoping to push forward. Ilion Maillard is the next man in, 4th position at the moment on a 1:19.2. So very much those 3 at the top spot are away and clear. But then faster than all the others is Ilion Maillard, just a whisker in front of Max Murray. And then Karim Azzi in 6th position from 7th place, Arafat Sheikh. So Arafat Shaikh up to Ilion Maillard. It could be any one of those four that ends up in P4 in this final time trial. They're all very close. Just under 3 minutes left of the time, so it is going to be very close as the drivers battle again. They're going to have to work very hard to find their feet as they continue to charge forward. Chanel Kunimal just staying steady on a 1:14.3. Nicolas Stura is still second, just 0.042 faster than Leonard Titica. See, the wind has picked up a lot, and that could cause a bit of an issue in terms of crosswinds. The different trajectory the car might take, just with that little bit of a gust of wind, could actually cause quite a bit of an issue in the Bambinos. So they obviously have to take that into account. A big gust of wind, if you know what it's like when you're on the motorway and you feel a big gust of wind, it can be very similar to that, if not an even more intense sensation when you're in the karts, especially as a youngster, when you're between the ages of 6 and 8. That can be very daunting to cope with, so these guys have obviously got to be very careful about how they go about it. A faster lap again from Leonard Titica. He does a 1:17.3. So 1:17.3 from Leonard Titica to move him up into second position. Chanel Kunimal, though, is the fastest from Leonard Titica, Nicolas Stura and Arafat Shaikh from Max Murray and Ilion Maillard. So Murray has got up into fifth position. Arafat Shaikh has gone up to fourth. Ilion Maillard only needs to make a gain of about 0.2 of a second, 0.3 of a second, and he is right back into fourth position again. It's so close, the battle for fourth, between Shaikh, Murray, Maillard and Azzi. There is nothing really between them, only about 0.3 of a second. And it's going to be very close to get those four separated. And with 1:15 seconds left on the clock, it isn't going to be particularly easy to call which one of those is going to be P4. I think it's fair to suggest who's going to be the winner. Second place isn't quite decided yet. Titica and Stura are still very closely matched. But because of this amount of rubber gone down now, it's a little bit greasier and slipperier. The crosswinds have stepped up a bit. I'm not sure we're going to be as fast as we were in the third time trial. That is as big as it's going to get in terms of pace. But so far, so good for Chanel Kunimal, the Indian, as he runs out in front. And I think he's going to be pretty much spot on the mark. Kunimal, Titica and Stura from Shaikh, Murray, Maillard and Azzi. Ilion Maillard comes down the straight for another lap, and it's a 1:20.36 for that last lap around, so it's not quite the sort of pace he would have wanted. He's in the 1:19s, but if he can break into the 1:18s, he's got a good chance. So the checkered flag is just 7 seconds away, and this is going to be the moment when we'll crown our Bambino O-Plate champion, and it is almost certainly going to go to Chanel Kunimal, the Indian, third victory in a row in the last time trial, and then it'll be 4 out of 4 in this one. The checkered flag now flies, and it is the end of the Bambino time trials for the Dubai O-Plate weekend. But it's going to be Chanel Kunimal who takes the victory after 4 fantastic time trials. A great result. Leonard Titica secures second in the fourth time trial in front of Nicolas Stura. And now the battle goes for fourth position. Murray finishes on a 1:19.1 as his best time, but Arafat Shaikh and Ilion Maillard are still out there setting laps. Karim Azzi cannot improve, he's 7th. AJ Khalil will be 8th from Peruzzi, Babaroshov, Al-Qasemi and Naylor, but still Arafat Shaikh and Ilion Maillard are out there setting laps. Maillard is about to come across the line. Arafat Shaikh will do so as well. Last chance for Ilion Maillard, a 1:19.3, so close, not quite enough. P6 will have to do, but he's been one of the star turns of this weekend. Arafat Shaikh comes through in fourth position. A very worthy effort indeed from Arafat Shaikh. Some good efforts there on a 1:18.9 for his fastest lap of the session. But that means that we have a Bambino O-Plate champion, and no guesses at all needed for who it is. He's been fastest of all in all 4 time trials. The Indian star, Chanel Kunimal, has got the job done in Bambino. We will crown him on the podium a little later on after the last Junior X30 race of the day. But congratulations to Chanel Kunimal. In the fourth time trial, he takes 4 wins out of 4 from Leonard Titica, and Nicolas Stura. Arafat Shaikh in 4th place from Max Murray, and Ilion Maillard in 6th position from Karim Azzi, AJ Khalil, Leo Peruzzi, Maxim Bobrashov, Mohamed El Kasemi, and in 12th place, Cohen Naylor. So that is your ranking for the 4th and final Bambino time trial. It's been a really exceptional run for the Bambinos. They've been absolutely fantastic entertainment over the course of the day. We hope they've enjoyed themselves, and we know that for a lot of them, in 2020, they'll be battling for cadet honours. It's going to be really exciting to see that 12 months from now. And we wish them all the best, of course, for their 2019 motorsport campaigns. And remember where you were when you heard some of those names, because the noise you're hearing in the background from the Autodrome, some of those kids will probably be making it 10 years from now. Oh, yes. Many opportunity drivers have come from the Kartdrome to the Autodrome and gone on to have big careers in motorsport. I don't think it's going to be too long until that happens, folks. I think it'll be a lot of great talents on that grid. So congratulations to Shonal Kunamal. We will crown him as the Bambino Dubai O-Plate champion of 2019 a little later. But now it's on to the X30 Senior and X30 Master. 3rd heat of the day. And that will take us nicely into the pre-final tomorrow. So many contenders for this. We've had 2 different winners from the first 2 races. Liam Crystal brilliantly in race 1, fending off Elliot Harvey. And Manaf Hijawi getting into a strong lead in race 2. There could be a completely different winner in race 3. Let's not forget that neither of those drivers are starting from the front row of the grid. So it could be Joey Hansen, it could be the Peruvian Mauricio Hernandez. Hijawi and Crystal are on the 2nd row, but Carl Kumaran has done a great job this weekend in his, I believe it's his first international outing as a senior, having come up from juniors, the brand racing driver from India. He'll line up on the 3rd row of the grid in P5 alongside Elliot Harvey. Dennis Bahar and Leroy Jagasa. And rounding out the top 10, it'll be Jacobo Mazza and Valentino Fritsch. From Shenton, De Brito, Azam, Jeed, Al-Najjar and Fleming. And the rest of the field will have a very interesting look at it. Don't forget that there is a race within a race in this, because we've also got the Masters contingent in there with the rest of the seniors. Behind Al-Najjar and Fleming, we have Jano Toysing, Harry Barlow, Abdurrahman Dulami and Prashant Koshar. And then we have the last drivers in the ranking behind Gianluca Elmozzi, Demetrius Papanastasiou, Katarina Kazakova, Dario Rubio, Dan Alves, Cullen Marshall, Dan Becker and Alex Waring. At the moment, the leading master is Craig Shenton. He starts from 11th on the grid on the inside line, and he's hoping to make it a victory, having had 2 battles so far. We've had 2 different winners, I believe, in the Masters rankings in the past, Prashant Koshar and Rami Azam. But it could well be Craig Shenton's turn. If he gets things very nicely indeed, he'll have some pressure from the likes of Jano Toysing and Katarina Kazakova. But we'll see how things flare. At the front of the field, the engine revs rise, and we're racing for the 3rd time today in the seniors. A really exciting battle in the offing as they head for the first corner. Joey Hansen trying to hang on in front of Hernandez, and there's no problem, in fact, up to 2nd position. A charge forward from Liam Crystal. Crystal has made the god into 2nd position, and there's contact further back. 2 or 3 karts in the wars, and it looks like somebody was actually mounting a kart halfway down the straight over the crossover. So that was a bit of a nasty one. Just kind of piggybacking on the back of another car halfway on the run to turn 4, eventually managing to hit the brakes, I think. And they want to move for the lead already. That is Crystal into the lead early doors, halfway round lap 1. Wow, the Brazilian is absolutely on it already. Crystal charging away from Joey Hansen. He has done what the guys back in England would call going ugly early. He's gone straight for the lead and charged for it immediately. Absolutely terrific. Crystal takes the lead over the line. Spot on, say the mechanics. P1, no need to change a thing, mate. So Crystal is your leader at the end of the first lap with a fantastic bit of driving. Hansen is 2nd from Kumaran in 3rd. Hernandez is now 4th from Hijawi and Harvey. Then it's Bahar, Yagasar, Fritsch, Azam, Shenton, Al-Najjar, De Brito and Hugo Jid. So a great battle as they continue to charge forward over the top of the crossover. They'll wind through the left-hander into the 4, into 5, the right-hander hairpin, very tight. Little blip of the throttle through 6 and under the bridge into 7 and 8, and then through the chicane. Through 11, up to 12, the hairpin. Still Hansen all over the back of Liam Crystal. Down the back straight and up towards turn 13, the hairpin. Hanson's not going to be that daring on the inside yet. He's got plenty of time to go. Into 14, 15 and 16 for the chicane, and then into turn 17, the final hairpin. Onto the main straight again. Crystal and Hanson trying to get away from the rest of the field. And it's already a fantastic start. Fastest lap of the race from the race 2 winner, Manaf Hijawi, is there in 5th position at the moment behind Kumaran and Hernandez. Harvey is 6th. Yagasar 7th from Bahar, Fritsch, Azam and Al Najjar. Shenton is still your leading master at the moment in 12th overall. So they continue to charge. We've got yellow flags. Yellow flags in at 4. And I think that looks to me like Dario Rubio. I think that is Dario Rubio. 2 karts in the mix there up at turn 4. And I think, unfortunately, that looks to me like Dario Rubio, who is down at the back. So we will double check on the way through. But it's very hard to see behind the barriers, unfortunately. We have somebody having pulled off at the far side. Oh, it's actually El Mosi. It's Gianluca El Mosi who had the problem. And it looks to me as though we've had another couple of incidents as well on that lap. Miles Fleming appears to be out of the race already. And Dan Becker is in the pits out as well. So big problems, unfortunately, for El Mosi, who drops down the order. But it's Crystal, Hanson, Kumaran, Hernandez, Hijawi, Harvey, Yagasar, Bahar, Fritsch, Azam and Al Najjar. So far, so good for Liam Crystal, who leads the way in front of Joey Hanson. They're into the twisting section of the crossover. They come under the bridge and up through to the chicane. 9, 10 and 11, up to 12. Into the right-hander for the hairpin, into turn 12. Hanson is close to Crystal. But Hanson might want to make the move into the hairpin. He might be close enough this time. Not if Crystal's got anything to say about it. He actually breaks that fraction of a second later to carry the speed through the outside line and hold station. Crystal going well. Hanson in second. Kumaran is third for the Brand Racing team. Hernandez in fourth from Hijawi. No, sorry, Kumaran's down to fifth now. Hernandez and Hijawi have both got him on that lap. So Hijawi up to fourth. Hernandez up to third. The Peruvian doing a grand job on that tour. But it's going to be a really exciting charge as they move forward, as they continue their progress. Liam Crystal running well. Joey Hanson in second. But Mauricio Hernandez has now moved his way up to third. Under the bridge come the leaders. They will battle away. Still Crystal from Hanson. Hernandez, Hijawi, and then fifth position now. That looks to me like Kumaran in front of Elliot Harvey in the GGM car. So down the back straight, no change for the leaders. Crystal and Hanson, third place. Hernandez trying to shake off Manaf Hijawi, who once again is getting into a good rhythm. Won the second race with a canter, but he now has to try and move his way further forward. Fastest lap of the race comes in now from Manaf Hijawi. Hijawi now fastest lap of the race, trying to close up on the Peruvian Mauricio Hernandez. Becker and Fleming are the race's only retirements. El Mosi has continued, by the way, but devastatingly he is a long way back from where he wants to be. Hijawi gets another new fastest lap, a 56.922 with 7 laps to go. He has got a chance of third position here, tightening up on Hernandez as Harvey does the same thing to close up on Kyle Kumaran. So Kumaran in fifth position is going to have to try and shake off Elio Harvey as they go down the back straight. It's 2 by 2, hurrah at the moment, and on the inside, that's a brave lunge from Hijawi, and he gets the place on Hernandez. Hijawi into P3. Brave move into the hairpin at 13 there for Hijawi down the back straight and into the right-hander. Hijawi grabbing third place. A really good effort there. No start line penalties to take into account this time, so it's just no holds barred racing. So some really good battles. I now want to try and keep an eye on what's happening in the Masters race, because obviously there's a few drivers in the mix of the Masters who will be worth keeping an eye on. Leading the way so far, it is yet again Rami Azam. Craig Shenton is still battling away with Jano Toysing. Fourth in the category is Papanastasio, just a whisker in front of Dario Rubio. Then Ekaterina Kazakova and Prashant Koshar, with Gianluca El Mosi obviously having dropped back further down the order. So the battle continues. Liam Crystal from Joey Hanson. Manaf Hijawi third now, having got past Hernandez. The new fastest man on the track is Elliot Harvey Harvey has just done a 56.802. So it's obviously been a very tough battle for him as he tries to move his way forward. And as the leaders come through this time, underneath the crossover once again, it is going to be a chance potentially for Hansen to close up on Crystal. But Liam Crystal has had a very strong run so far. They come under the bridge this time, and interestingly, there is a big gap back to... no, it's not Liam Crystal and Joey Hansen. There they are, in through the chicane this time by. Hijawi's got a bit of a gap over Hernandez. What's happened to Harvey? Harvey is missing. Harvey is missing. He's fallen away from the top 6. There he is. He has dropped back quite a long way now, so something definitely, obviously trying to make a move on the 5th place man, Kyle Kumaran. Harvey has tried to make the move, and for some reason, he has ended up falling down the order. Well, that one's not going to be explained until later on. But with 4 laps to go, Joey Hansen sets the new fastest lap of the race in his bid to close up on Liam Crystal. 3rd place is Manaf Hijawi. 4th is Marcelo Hernandez. And now it's Leroy Jagassar and Dennis Bahar who are there in 5th and 6th. From Fritz Azam and Dobritio, with Kumaran now 10th and Harvey now 11th. So clearly the two of them must have tangled on the far side up the bridge and have dropped back to 10th and 11th. A shame for those two. They were going very well. Didn't see what happened, unfortunately, and certainly couldn't abortion blame without seeing it. But Leroy Jagassar has taken 5th, and Denis Bahar has taken 6th as a result. And on the Kubica chassis, Valentino Fritsch is there in P7. The Kubica chassis, of course, named in deference to the Formula 1 driver for Williams this year, Robert Kubica. But Liam Crystal is your race leader. Joey Hansen in 2nd, the fastest man on the track. They come through this time by with 3 laps to go, and it is all about the pressure cooker for Liam Crystal. Joey Hansen is giving him so much pressure. If he can just hang on to it, then it's going to be 2 wins out of 3 for the Energy team. And obviously, it's 1 step closer for Liam Crystal to potentially get himself into a Formula 4 car on Sunday at the Dubai Autodrome. He will want to, more than anything he will want to, but he's got to get the work done first. So it will be a really strong battle and a really strong charge forward. So let's see what happens. The battle continues. Blue flags are waving. That is for Gianluca Elmozi, I believe, to get out of the way and allow the leaders to come through. And I don't think they'll cause too much of an issue. Oh, big contact! Up at the back. We got 3 or 4 of them gone together there. Up on the back straight. And one car barrel rolling over the other, sideways in the air. Fortunately, didn't land upside down, but that is game over for at least one of the carts, potentially 2 if there's damage. And that was a big shot. I just saw with a squabble of about 8 of them, there was going to be contact for somebody, and I think it's Kyle Kumaran. I think it's Kyle Kumaran, the Indian, who was already struggling, and I think his race is now well and truly over. He has yet to come through. Prashant Koshar and now Gianluca Elmozi have 2. So yeah, I'm afraid it's Kyle Kumaran, the Indian for Brand Racing, is out of this race. And he started all the way up in P5, don't forget. So it's a race to forget for Kumaran. But with a lap to go at the end of this one, it is almost home and dry for Liam Crystal in front of Joey Hansen, who is still right there. He's not prepared to give up. Hansen is 4 tenths back. Hijawi is 3rd, 7 tenths ahead of Hernandez. 2 seconds back is Jagassar. From Bahar, Fritsch, Dobritio, Azam and Elliot Harvey in 10th ahead of Shenton. So now it's all about Liam Crystal hanging on in front of your man in 2nd place, Joey Hansen. Hansen, fastest in qualifying, fastest over 1 lap, you can argue, but it's all about Liam Crystal just hanging on to this pressure cooker. Hansen is right there with him as they go up towards 12, in through the right-hand hairpin, but I think Crystal's got enough of a gap to be comfortable. Hansen's not going to be close enough to Banzai, especially with the grand finals tomorrow. He will not want to risk it on a stupid gamble, so it's going to be Crystal. 2 wins out of 3 today, into the final turn. Liam Crystal has made it look beautiful. A great run for Crystal, and that sets him up with a pre-final pole position tomorrow, surely. Terrific from Crystal. Hansen is 2nd, his best result of the day. 3rd for Manaf Hijawi, gets him right up to the front end. Hernandez fourth from Yagasar, Bahar, Fritsch, De Britio, Azam, Harvey and Shenton. Rami Azam is once again the Masters winner after a fantastic race battle. But what a sensational race it's been for Liam Crystal. Got on with it on the very first lap, held the lead and said, you know what, I'm not losing this one, not today. Really good work from Liam Crystal all day long. 2 wins out of 3, and the Brazilian charge has been absolutely superb. So Liam Crystal is going to be very much one to watch. Sadly, retirements for Miles Fleming on the first lap. Dan Becker was in trouble as well. And sadly, retirements for Gianluca Elmosi, who had that spin at turn 3 and then eventually had problems. And on the same lap, Kyle Kumaran unfortunately tangled with the midfield runners and got spat out into the barriers at turn 12. But for Liam Crystal, no problem at all. 2 wins out of 3 and almost certain to start from pole position in the pre-final tomorrow. We'll confirm it tomorrow morning when we get the grids for those pre-finals though. And we're really excited to see how those races are going to go. But it's a great win for Liam Crystal. Second for Hansen, then Hijawi, Hernandez, Jagasar, Bahar, Fritsch, De Britio, Azam, the leading master, and Harvey from Shenton, Alves, Toyson, Gid, Mazza, Barlow, Papanastasio, Al-Naja, Kazakova, Dulami, Alex Waring, Callum Marshall, Dario Rubio, and Prashant Koshar. With the retirements, Elmosi, Becker, Fleming, and rather sadly, Kumaran. So there we are, racing done and dusted for Senior X30 until tomorrow. And now comes the last race of the day, and that is from Junior X30. We're really, really excited about this one. We've already had some good battles and some really tasty races. Jamie Day has been a race winner. Kamal Agar has been a race winner. We could well see a third in this one with so many talented racers on the grid. But the Energy Squad have definitely had a really productive day at the office in the juniors. In that last race alone, a 1-2 finish with Kamal Agar in first position and nearly said Liam Crystal there. Jamie Day is what I meant to say in second position. The team is going to have a very nice quiet sip of lemonade this evening. My apologies, Kamal Agar is a GGM driver. My apologies, I'm still learning all of the squads. Thank you for reminding me. Yes, Kamal Agar, a GGM driver. My apologies. So it is going to be an interesting one for Kamal Agar to see if they can keep the George Gibbons Motorsport flag flying for a third race in a row. We'll see how well Kamal gets on with it. And the battle is going to continue very much in earnest with this Junior X30 race. Just one kart to go and retrieve from out of the circuit, and that is Kyle Kumaran's. He was very disappointed in that one. He was looking very strong at the start of the race, but it just didn't end out his way. And obviously very, very sad to see Miles Fleming needing a recovery as well. Up at turn 3. And obviously with Kyle Kumaran now being brought back to the pits and Miles Fleming needing to have the same treatment, it's a rather bitter end to their Friday afternoon. But they'll still have a lot of time to recoup. And hopefully there will be a good opportunity for tomorrow's race to come back and fight for supremacy again. That will affect their starting position quite dramatically, of course, but that doesn't mean they're out of the weekend by a long shot. There are still the pre-finals and the grand finals tomorrow for all of the drivers to fight for. So as the recovery crew goes to recover the kart of Miles Fleming, it's time to work our way through the starting grid of the Junior X30 race. It's as qualifying was this morning, of course, which means that Kamal Agar of GGM will line up on pole position from Jamie Day, Anshul Gandhi and Keanu Alajari on the second row from Kian Shields and Khaled Saab. Alfie Rigby and Saif Al-Nagar, the Egyptian racer, will be there on the fourth row of the starting grid. Apologies for the noise, it's sounding like a million bass drums at the moment, it's just the wind. Row 5, Konstantin Reich and Abdurrahman Freich. From Alexander Renner and Alice Haynes, Carl Saad and Suleiman Zanfari, Kane Shanian and Patrick De Batista, with Zach Scular there in 17th position on the grid. And sharing the 9th row of the starting grid with Zach Scular is going to be Fahed Al-Khalad, with Andre Uziel, Yanis Mayard, and then at the back of the grid is Oliver Clough. But it's obviously going to be a very tight race for all of the drivers, with 21 of them on the starting grid, and Junior X30 being so ultra competitive, it is going to be intriguing to figure out just how the juniors are going to go in this one. Just a quick preview for tomorrow's action, actually, because we're going to have another class to talk about, and that is the Sodi World Series. And before she disappears, I'm going to grab a quick word with Abigail Birch before she runs away. Abby, obviously you've been watching all of the racing and keeping an eye on the on-track activity. Have you got some good data now ready for tomorrow?
The main is just to do as well as I can. I haven't really been in a kart that often since I left Dubai, so it's more about just having fun.
And obviously tomorrow you've got a very interesting pair of races with the Sodi World Series. It's always very tough when you don't know which kart you're even going to be in before you get into it, so that must always throw a few surprises into the mix.
It's definitely a gamble, but you just got to keep your fingers crossed. Hopefully you do get a good kart.
The good thing, I suppose, is that you know this circuit very well, so you can have an advantage over some of those. You have been out in the karts, other karts over the course of the weekend, so there must be a little bit of preparation you can have.
Yeah, so all week I have been testing on this track just because I haven't been here for about 14 months. So I do know the track very well. I've done a few hundred laps on this circuit, but it's definitely different being away for a long time. A lot of work.
And actually, you're one of the younger drivers on the grid as well, because there's going to be quite an elite amount of drivers in their sort of, late 30s to early 40s in the grid. So you're going to have potentially a bit more energy than some of the other drivers out there.
Hopefully I will. I think I am the youngest on the grid, and I think I'm the only female as well, so that'll be good fun.
It'd be great to see you beat all those men back with a spade tomorrow morning. Good luck.
Thank you so much.
Really looking forward to seeing what happens as Abigail Birch returns to the fray of the Sodi World Series at Dubai Autodrome tomorrow. That race will be taking place. None of the drivers will ever have even sat in their karts this week until tomorrow's qualifying. It's a great leveller. They won't know anything about it in terms of track conditions there and then. They've had virtually no preparation. They can certainly come and do the regular arrive and drive karting to get a feel for it, but they can't race their Sodi World Series karts until tomorrow's qualifying, which makes it such a leveller, and one of the things that makes the Sodi World Series such a brilliant spectacle. And when it comes to the Dubai Kartdrome, there's always really good racing. It's going to be impossible to commentate on tomorrow because obviously I'm presuming most of the drivers will be in very similar helmets and race suits, and they'll all be in exactly the same livery of kart because they're all the same fleet. They'll all be the same colour, so spotting numbers from a distance, well, it's going to be like spotting needles in haystacks underwater, probably. It's going to be very much impossible. I think I'll bring my binoculars tomorrow, potentially. But really good racing to finish us off with for the first day of action from the Dubai O-Plate. 24 hours from now, we'll be finishing off the Dubai O-Plate, of course, and crowning our new champions. But there's so much at stake for these guys. The winner of the grand finals tomorrow walks away with an IAMI International Finals ticket at Le Mans. We've got to thank everybody at IAMI for putting on a fantastic show here and obviously supporting the event. To tag Hoyer as well, hashtag don't crack under pressure. Many of the drivers are hoping that they'll walk away from tomorrow with a very nice trophy, not just in their trophy cabinet, but also on their wrist, because they'll want to have a nice Tag Heuer watch to tell time with and walk out of the circuit in style. As all of the IAMI winners, of course, will walk away with a Tag Heuer watch, some of whom will be far too young to appreciate just how cool they are. But hey, that's the world of junior teenage kart racing, isn't it? The Junior X30s in particular are going to have a really good battle out on the circuit. And this is the last race of the day before some of the racers will obviously head back to the hotel for some training and some R&R in the gym and the pool. Others will probably be wanting to get out on the circuit in the A&Ds and will be promptly told by their parents not to. Others of them will probably go for the race room simulator. Others will play some pool or just hang out with mechanics and hope for a very pleasant evening's afternoon pleasure in the sunshine here at a glorious scenery that is here at Dubai Motor City. Some may even sneak off to the racetrack next door and go and watch some GT racers plough around the circuit in fine style. It looks like it's going to be a very pleasant Friday evening here at Dubai Motor City. And I have to say, it's already building the tension in preparation for tomorrow's grand finals of the 2019 Dubai O-Plate. My first time to this event, and I have to say, I am absolutely head over heels in love with it. I would love to come back in 2020. There are so many incredible people, amazing teams, amazing racers, and obviously supporters and mechanics and parents. Every single word that has been spoken to me at every single point since I landed yesterday morning has been nothing but warm, pleasant and welcoming. And it's always very nice to know that you're appreciated when the only thing you're actually good at doing is gaining weight and talking rubbish. It's always very nice to be appreciated. So I've very much had the welcome wagon from everybody here in the Emirates. I'm really, really proud to be here. So just one more race around the circuit before we take a nice evening's break. And that is going to be the Junior X30, third and final heat. And this is going to be a good one. Agar and Day, Gandhi and Al-Ajari, Shields and Saab, Rigby and Al-Naga, and rounding out the top 10, Konstantin Reich and Abdurrahman Fraish. They will obviously want another clean start. 3 heats out of 3 we've had clean starts so far, so we'll want to be in a good position to make sure that everybody is keeping squeaky clean and on a dial. So the drivers will want to have a really strong finish to their weekend, but they'll want to have a very strong finish to the day, because obviously this sets them up for a good grid position for the pre-final tomorrow. And it's all about grid positions. Fortunately, there will be no relegations to B-finals. Nobody will end their weekend until the end of the final, so everyone can still win in every category. But it's now all about putting yourself in the right position at the right time and getting it all sorted. So here they go, the tension building as all of the carts are now in their tramline positions. Kamal Agar from the front position of the grid. Jamie Day alongside him. Gandhi, Al-Ajari, Shields, Saab, Rigby, Al-Najjar, Reich and Fraj. And it's go from the start. A cracking getaway from the outside. Sees Jamie Day go straight into the lead. An absolute flyer from Day off the line. And he goes right round the outside to take an early lead. Back on the inside, Kamal Agar goes straight for it. Jamie Day slips to third as a result. He just loses traction on the exit, and that's Day down to third position. So, I spoke too soon. Jamie Day flying around the outside of turn 2 to grab the lead, but just a little bit deep into 3, and that is enough to lose ground. So back into the lead goes Kamal Agar for the GGM squad. He leads the way. Second place is Anshul Gandhi. Fourth position battling away there. I think that is a big battle in the mid-pack starting to step up. The top 5 running well. Khaled Saab looks like he's come up into 4th position. And I think that's Kian Shields in P4. A really strong effort there. 5th position was Keanu Al-Ajari, but he has slipped back now behind. I think that's actually Alfie Rigby charging through. Well, double check, but it's Agar from Gandhi, Day, Shields, Saab. No, it's Konstantin Reich. Then Al-Ajari. Fraish is there in 8th position. So a big battle as they charge their way through. But after the top 7, we've got Fraish there in 7th position. Then it is Al-Nagar, Renner, De Batista, Rigby, Saad, Zanfari, Haynes, Uziel, Al-Khaled, Yanis Mayard, Oliver Clough, Zach Skular. And then in 21st it is Kane Sherian. Under the bridge they come once again. And out in front it is Kamal Agar. But for how much longer? Because he's got all sorts of pressure. Anshul Gandhi trying to keep the door firmly shut to prevent the 3rd place man Jamie Day coming through. Kian Shields is back on the inside of Khaled Saab and gets the place to stick, but it's still very close into the top 5. Kamal Agar leading, getting a little bit of a nudge and a love tap from the 2nd place man Anshul Gandhi. 3rd position, very much close in behind. Trying to tap his way through to the front is Jamie Day as they come down the straight once again. Still pushing hard. Agar, Gandhi, Day, Shields, Al-Ajari now up into 5th place in front of Khaled Saab. Reich, Fraj, Al-Nagar and Renner. Here again we come for 3rd position, trying to cut up to the inside. Jamie Day trying to get on the inside of Anshul Gandhi. I thought he was going to make a move to the inside of 4 there. Tucks up for 5. Not going to make the overtaking move. Might be able to get it into 6 though for the hairpin. That's a good overtaking spot down the hill. And as they get back on the power through to 7 and 8, they will then emerge up towards 9, 10, into the chicane. Jamie Day is 2nd. He did get past Anshul Gandhi, and Keanu Al-Ajari got past Kian Shields as well for 4th position. The train is starting to make speed. Konstantin Reich is there in 6th position in front of Khaled Saab, and in 8th place that looks like Abdurrahman Fraish. So a good battle as they run through. Kian Shields still knocking on the door of Keanu Al-Ajari. But as they come through at the end of the lap, it's 3 men fighting for the victory out front. Agar, Day and Gandhi. Shields is behind Al-Ajari. Reich is 6th from Saab. Al-Najjar, Renner. Patrick De Batista has lost quite a bit of ground on that lap. Has lost about 4 places, dropping behind Zanfari, Saad and Haynes. So some good battles through the field. But in the top 3, it's still Gandhi trying to shake off the attentions of Agar and Day at the front end of the field. So Kamal Agar for GGM, Jamie Day for the Energy team, and Anshul Gandhi for Brand Racing. Still pushing on as they come through. Three of the biggest names there in the team squad battling away. As again, Kian Shields is into fourth position, having shaken off Keanu Alajari once more. Battling for the lead, Dyson for the move, Jamie Day goes for the lead, and Jamie Day gets there. Sweet overtake into 13, gets the job done nicely. As they come up to the final hairpin, Jamie Day is into the lead. The Energy squad absolutely elated, and that will get the job done nicely if he can hang on to it. So Jamie Day leads the way. Kamal Agar in second place, Gandhi is third. Shields, Ajari, Raish, Saab and Al Nagar from Reda, Frij and Suleiman Zanfari of Morocco in 11th. They go over the crossover once again, and Jamie Day now into a position. He's going to be a hard man to beat today. Kamal Agar is going to have to work very hard indeed to come through into the lead once more, but Jamie Day looks pretty much poised when he's in the lead of a race. It's hard to take it back from him. And now Anshul Gandhi has slipped to third. Trying again to get one over on Kamal Agar. Kian Shields has dropped the guys behind. Green flags. So there's a yellow flag up at 6. Yellow flag at 6. We've lost somebody. Green flags are waving further round. Two of them. Is one of them Keanu Alajari? I think that's Keanu Alajari is one of them. That's a big player in the top 5. That must be why Kian Shields had such a big lead on the rest of the drivers behind him in their fight for the top 5. Konstantin Raish is now 5th from Frij. It's Keanu Alajari and Khaled Saab that have collided with each other over the far side. So unfortunately, that is Khaled Saab pretty much out of contention. Alfie Rigby, I'm afraid to say, is out of the race as well. Devastatingly bad luck for Alfie Rigby in his first meeting as a junior. Saif Al-Nagar and Khaled Saab appear to be out of the race as well. All sorts of drama in the X30 juniors. Obviously, impatience is starting to set in, and some of the bolder choice moves are now becoming a factor in this weekend. But that's the thing with these Indy 500 style meetings. It's all or nothing. You've got to go for it. If it works, great. If it doesn't, you've learnt your lesson. Jamie Day leads the way. Pole position for the pre-final, looking very ominous now. 57.076. No, a new fastest lap from Kian Shields. A 56.988 from Kian Shields so far. So that is enough to put him at the sharp end. Jamie Day from Kamal Agar, Anshul Gandhi, Kian Shields, Konstantin Raish, Abdurrahman Frij and Suleiman Zanfari now to 7th in front of Reda and Saad. So this is going to be a really close battle up at the front end. Where's your leader? Jamie Day. Under the bridge he will go in a second or so. There he is. Second place is still very tight. Kamal Agar and Anshul Gandhi. And as they tighten up, here comes Kian Shields, closing in on both of them. Now Kamal Agar is causing a bit of a roadblock here in front of Anshul Gandhi. The Indian is not being able to find a move, and this is great news for the Flying Scotsman. Kian Shields in 4th position, charging his way to the end of the lap. Could well be fighting for the podium in about a lap or so's time. Maybe even less than that as they come through. Dean McDonald, Kian's driver coach, adamant to push him further forward. Let's keep this going, Kian. It's all going well, mate. And in 4th position right now, everything's still going well. Jamie Day has a lead of 1.3 seconds on Kamal Agar. He's really opened up the taps, and that's enough to give him a comfortable advantage. It's not dominant, but it's definitely comfortable for the moment. He doesn't need to panic too much about what Agar and Gandhi are up to. He just needs to keep pounding in those laps. Here comes Shields, closing in on Anshul Gandhi. Gandhi just looking a little bit loose on the curbs, and that's giving him a charge. Meanwhile, further back, we've got Konstantin Raish in 5th, and then Suleiman Zanfari is catching his teammate Konstantin Raish and makes the move. Suleiman Zanfari into P6 there at the hairpin. Down the back straight he goes. Suleiman Zanfari pops up into P6. Suleiman's one of the fabulous characters of the paddock. He never stops coming over to me and asking me questions about what am I up to, where am I going to be next, who am I talking about. Suleiman Zanfari is one of the most energetic kids in this junior paddock, and fights his way through now to P6. But Jamie Day now has opened up the gap to 1.4. Agar is just 2 tenths ahead of Gandhi and 4 tenths further ahead of Shields. As Jamie Day comes under the bridge once again with 3.5 laps to go. He is comfortable on home soil, knowing this circuit well. Second position is not decided yet by any means. Kamal Agar, now Anshul Gandhi goes for second and gets it. Anshul Gandhi gets second place, but here comes Kamal Agar once again to try and get through into second once more. And it's going to be a terrific squabble from these three. Gandhi now goes wide in 14, and he's going to have a strong challenge down the main straight. Will 578 and 505 please make their way to race control? 578 and 505 to race control, please. A battle of seconds going through. Kamal Agar's gone back through, and it's that Kean Shields round the outside. It is Kean Shields up to third around the outside. Brilliant bit of driving there from Shields as he manages to get himself into some space round the outside and grabs third from Anshul Gandhi. Now he's only got one more driver to go for before he gets to second place. I'm not sure the win is on. He's too far back from Jamie. He's there already! He's already there! Second position. He must have done it into six. Terrific. Now Kamal Agar is going to try again, but Shields has got the door shut, and Anshul Gandhi wants to get back on the podium. 2.5 to go, and Kean Shields is back to second. So with 2 seconds and a fourth place, that's surely got to make him a candidate for the front row of tomorrow's pre-final with Jamie Day. Day leads it. Still going well with 2 to go. Shields is up to second. Kamal Agar and Anshul Gandhi, third and fourth. Konstantin Reich in fifth, too far back. Anshul Gandhi side by side with Kamal Agar through 2. Not able to get there in 3. Coming back again for 4 on the inside. This is brilliant news for Shields. These two continue to dice for third. Shields is just going to be given a free get-out-of-jail card to run away with it. And that should seal him second. But he's got to keep drilling. There's Jamie Day in the lead. Shields comes through in second. And here is the battle. Kamal Agar and Anshul Gandhi still fighting for that third position. Reich is fourth. Zanfari getting away from Frege in 7th and 6th positions, those two. 8th is now Renner, doing a grand job in front of Carl Saad, and Fahad Al-Khaled has got up to 10th in front of Kane Shanahan, Alice Haynes, then Dabatista, Clough, Uziel, Scular, Al-Ajari and Maillard. But such an incredible battle this is turning into. Up front with 1 lap to go, Jamie Day has once again grabbed this race by the throat, got himself into a good advantage and pulled away. And it's a similar fighting story from Kean Shields. He's not had the perfect luck today, but when he's got an opportunity to make up the numbers, he will charge his way forward and pick them off like raisins. Jamie Day leads the race, and he is going to take the victory as he comes under the bridge for the last time. Kean Shields is safe now in second position as he runs through in P2. And it looks to me as though Kamal Agar is just going to hang on in front of Anshul Gandhi as they battle for third position. No, Gandhi's going to try one last gasp effort, not quite going to make it. That was a good effort, but he was coming from a million miles back. But it is going to be Jamie Day who takes the win. Out of the final turn, it's 2 out of 3 for Jamie Day. He wins a brilliant race and surely is the pole position for tomorrow's pre-final. Kean Shields is second. Terrific. Absolutely brilliant from Kean Shields. And a third place finish there for Kamal Agar in front of Anshul Gandhi and Konstantin Reich. Suleiman Zanfari in 6th from Abdurrahman Frege, Carl Saad and Alexander Renner, with Kane Chenian rounding out the top 10. Great fights from Jamie Day and Kean Shields. Once again, 1 and 2. A brilliant effort from the pair of them. 11th place for 11th place for Fahad Al-Khaled, with Alice Haynes in 12th from Dabatista, Clough, Uziel, Scular, Keanu Al-Ajari and Yanis Maillard, unfortunately lapped with problems and then retirements rather sadly. First of all for Alfie Rigby, he was the race's first retirement on lap 4 with all sorts of difficulties, and then Khaled Saab and Saif Al-Naga on the same lap also retired from the race action. But Jamie Day is your race winner from Kean Shields, and Kamal Agar in the final race of the day. Absolutely fantastic stuff and really good race action. We've really got to see the best of it from the drivers out there. All the way through the day's action, we've seen nothing but great race action. And it will be really exciting to see the drivers out there in a fantastic race action tomorrow. Wherever you are around the world, make sure you tune in for it. We are going live again tomorrow at 10:10 local time. If you're in the UK, that is 10 minutes past 6 in the morning. And then, of course, if you're in Europe, it is 10 minutes past 7. We do hope you'll join us for all of the action. But from day one of the Dubai O Plate, it has been absolutely sensational at the Dubai Kartdrome. We've had some incredible entertainment. We're going to go for the podium for the Iami Bambino 60cc shortly. But what a great race day it has been here on Friday the 18th of January at the Dubai Kartdrome. Join us again for more action tomorrow when we will crown some champions at the 2019 Dubai O Plate.
Hi, I'm Tom Ingram and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Jake Villeneuve. You're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Bruno Senna. You're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Chris Hoy, and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Landon Norris, and you're listening to Downforce Radio.